The sun isn't shining bright on my old Kentucky home. It's rained hard in Louisville the last 2 days, and rain is in the forecast. It'll be the first time the Breeders' Cup races have been run on an off track. The current word is a sloppy track, the dirt track here at famed Churchill Downs. And as one of the trainers said as he looked up at the twin spires behind me, this is magic. And so will this day of 4 hours of classic racing as we celebrate the sport of kings. And Tom Hammond, who has, well, run the full spectrum from groom to announcer to owner, joins us. It's a great day, but certainly there'll be a lot of bright stars to liven things up.
There will, and in fact, this is part of horse racing and off track, and it's the riders and the horses that adapt the best that come away the winners. And it is a bright cast. I think the best in the 5 years of the Breeders' Cup. All the best horses in training in the U.S. and Europe are here, and an intriguing battle for Horse of the Year. Personal ends in the filly, who will run in the Distaff. She has raced twice on a sloppy track and done well. Ali Sheba, who will go in the Classic, has not run well on an off track, and his chances for Horse of the Year may be hurt today.
All right, Ali Sheba, who won the Kentucky Derby 2 years ago here at Churchill Downs, and is looking to become the winningest in terms of earnings horse in history, passing John Henry.
The #1 horse in the field today, the lesser half of the Wayne Lucas trained entry, 5th in the sprint last year at 97-1, riding a 5-race losing streak. Chris Antley with his first Breeders' Cup ride. #1A is Gulch. Lucas leads all trainers with 6 Breeders' Cup wins. Gulch's best shot here. Racing in Top Company has not been out of the money in 10 starts this year. Angel Cordero figures to keep Gulch just off the pace, and Gulch retires after today.
Very Subtle returns to defend the sprint championship. Won at Hollywood Park last year, went off at 16-1, is 15-1 currently.
She is a long shot today. She hasn't won since that Breeders' Cup victory, except once, as trainer Mel Studi tried to stretch her out to longer races. #3, Rule Man, a Kentucky Derby contender until injured in April, had surgery to remove knee chips and is 2 for 2 in New York since his return. Gary Stevens looks for his first Breeders' Cup win. #4, A Fleet, like Gulch, unplaced in last year's Classic. This year tries the sprint. Has not raced in 4 months after a series of minor ailments, but typically runs well fresh and has Lasix for the first time today. He retires to stud after this race. #5, Mossa, formerly raced in England, but has 5 U.S. wins this year. Comes from way back, but can he do that in a race this short? This is his shortest effort of the year. #6, Once Wild, was scratched. #7, Precisionist, making his 3rd Breeders' Cup appearance. He won the sprint at Aqueduct on his way to champion sprinter honors. Retired to stud in 1987 by his owner, 91-year-old Fred Hooper. Precisionist failed to get his mares in fold and has returned to the races this year. 3 wins in 6 starts, but all at longer distances. Chris McCarron's only Breeders' Cup score was on this horse. #8 is Calistoga. He's won 5 of his last 6. He loves the slop. He hasn't raced against this kind of competition, though. He's trying to crack the big time with Don Brumfield, leading rider of all time at Churchill Downs. #9, Olympic Prospect. Frank Sinatra is one of the owners, but not the Frank Sinatra. There may be singing, but it's likely to be off-key. The owner is a Glendale, California pediatrician. But this is a real speedball. He'll be Catch Me If You Can today. He's the California Invaders, taking 6 of 7.
And the big crowd fancies Mining, currently the favorite at 9-5.
Favored because he's unbeaten, though he's raced only 6 times, had ankle chips removed. He has been well in the slop. He won in the Vosburg in the mud his last start, beating Gulch nearly 3 lengths. #11, Play the King, Canadian-based, has won 4 of 5 this year. Breaks from the outside post position. In the mutual field, 2 horses today running as 1 betting interest. #12, Ready Jet Go, 2nd filly in the field, equal the 6-furlong track record of the Meadowlands in her last start. Linda Rice Appleby, daughter of the owner, is trainer, groom, exercise rider, hot walker, and van driver for this filly. #13 is Sylvan Express, a closer, 2nd and 3rd to Olympic Prospect this summer. His last race in the slop at Keeneland, a disaster. He finished 7th.
A field of 13 sprinters, the best in the world, going here at Churchill Downs, and these are the current odds. You'll see them throughout the day as they are on the totalizator here at Churchill Downs. The entry of High Brighton Gulch at 5-1, Very Subtle at 15-1, went off at 16-1 last year in the win, and there's your favorite, #10, Mining at 9-5. Good backing for Olympic Prospect, #9 at 6-1. They like Precisionist and Calistoga at 7-1. They're on the track for the 6-furlong sprint. NBC Sports presents the 5th running of the Breeders' Cup. Today's $7 million races are brought to you by your Toyota dealer and the all-new 1989 Toyota Cressida. Toyota quality. Who could ask for anything more? By Budweiser, Beechwood Age for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. By U.S. Sprint, America's first and only nationwide 100% digital fiber optic phone company. And by Mobil Corporation and Mobil One Synthetic Motor Oil, the proud sponsor of the Breeders' Cup Classic.
Meet your next truck. The truck for '89. The all-new Toyota V6 4x4 SR5. The most advanced V6 engine in its class. All new on-the-move four-wheel demand. And a brand new look that says Toyota quality.
It's everything I ever wanted.
Toyota, who could ask for anything more? It's just a pure and natural beer for you. So icy cold, so crisp, so clear for you. The king of beer, so fresh, so true for you. You got the taste, this Bud's for you.
It's brewed from the choicest natural ingredients. It's Beechwood aged for that clean, crisp taste. And best of all, it's for you.
You got the taste, this Bud's for you.
Despite the 50-degree weather, 72,000 now the estimate. Churchill Downs, $1 million sprint at 6 furlongs, 3/4 of a mile. The start at the head of the back stretch. Home stretch here, 1/4 of a mile. One of the longest stretches in American racing, certainly lending to the drama of all of this day's racing. The sprint, the equine equivalent of the 100-meter dash. Well, the equivalent of the Sunshine Boys? No way. The terrible twosome. On this day, maybe the Cloudburst Kids are with us again. Let's go to Jay Randolph and Harvey Pack.
Dick, Daddy Warbucks is here with me, and we are ready to go. You know, the weather is not very good, as you've mentioned, but nevertheless, when there's horse racing in Kentucky, it is always dandy. Today, we'll be talking about the race behind the race before each event on the card, Harvey.
And in the event of this race, this is the best betting race on the card, but remember, it's mud. We're going to show you the race behind the race, give you some sort of a clue, but remember, this is a beauty. This is wide open.
And Harvey indicates to you that it's a very important start today. Here's our look now at the sprint and the race behind the race.
Speed will out. Very subtle. Won this race in California last year in fine fashion.
She's not the same filly, but she's freshened, and that's the way she likes it. There's Rule Man, once considered a prospect for the Derby. Came back sprinting recently, and he was dynamite.
Olympic prospect, the big, powerful gelding, has won 6 of 7. And let's go back to Santa Anita last month and the ancient title.
Olympic prospect, the best in the West, fastest horse in America out of the gate. Any of these speedballs that wants the lead is in trouble today.
D. Wayne Lucas has been pointing Gulch toward this race all year. He's not been worse than second in races under a mile. Mining, lightly raced. 6 races, 6 wins for Denny Phipps. And he and Gulch went at it for 7 furlongs in the Vosburg at Belmont last month.
There's Gulch coming along the inside. He's caught Mining. Mining is under the whip. Watch Mining toy with him. Begin to pull away. He's laughing at Gulch. Mining will be your favorite today. He's never faced this big a field. He's drawn an outside post. He deserves to be the favorite, but he's beatable. If you like to bet on horses, this is your race. The best betting race on the card.
The best betting race on the card, and we've got Pax Pool back again this year. The National Broadcasting Company, the sports division, presenting Harvey with a Franklin, $100. What are you going to do right off the bat in what you say is the best betting race of the day?
I've been here 3 days with you. I know it's not your 100.
You're right
gave
there.
It to you. This is the kind of race that if you're betting, you box 6 horses and hope. I can't do that. I have to make one bet. I'm going to make a big bet only because I like the betting race. I'm betting $25 on a Fleet. I don't know if a Fleet can handle mud. I know he may like an off track, he may not. He's my shot. If he wins, I can go home.
And ladies and gentlemen, that is a major move to start off Pack's pool.
So a Fleet, ridden by Gary Stahlbaum, the number 4 in this Breeders' Cup Sprint is Harvey Pack's pick. Of course, the start of this race is critical. Tom Hammond.
It is critical, Dick. In fact, in the first 4 sprints, the winner's been on top the first quarter mile and never worse than third. Twice they've been on top the first quarter. The interesting thing here will come from post positions 12 and 13. In 12 is Olympic Prospect. He figures to go out and work his way toward the rail. I don't think anybody can head him. And then the favorite, Mining, comes out of 13. In post 13, look for Mining to follow Olympic Prospect, settle just off the pace right behind Olympic Prospect as he works his way to the rail. That's the way the start, which is crucial in this race, should go today.
We're joined also again for Breeders' Cup Day with a Supreme Rider with the Sunday Times and our commentator in all of our Breeders' Cup Classics, Bruff Scott.
It's great to be with you all again, and great to be down at the start before the sprint, where it's absolutely crucial. I've talked to the starter, and he says number 9, Olympic Prospect, with a speed horse with Lafitte Pink Eye. He got very nervous in the stalls the last time he saw him. Watch him, because he's got to come out and he's going to lead.
Bruff Scott, how do you feel the sloppy track will affect this speed race?
Well, of course, if anything is behind, they are going to get absolutely covered, really covered. And anything that leads, we think they may well held on.
And the wind you could hear as well in the microphones, Tom Hammond. How about the wind gusting up to 30 miles an hour?
A tailwind on the backstretch is going to mean some very fast early fractions. Look for Olympic Prospect to fly on the lead.
We're reminded of the stirring call of the Classic last year. Now let's go up to the top race announcer in the country, Tom Durkin.
And we're ready for the start of the first Breeders' Cup in Kentucky, and they're off. Gulch broke alertly on the outside. Calistoga is away quickly. Mining was also away well, and toward the inside, it's very subtle in Olympic Prospect. Olympic Prospect and very subtle. And those two will fight it out early, and Mining is right there and fighting early in third. Precisionist is hustled up on the inside, fourth. Calistoga fifth on the outside. Roman is up close. He's just 5 lengths off the lead. Play the King is now running 7th on the outside. And then it's Gulch now racing in 8th position. Then farther back, Ready Jet Go is now 9th toward the rail. High Bright is racing in 10th. A Fleet, the Canadian, is 11th. Then on the extreme outside, it's Sylvan Express, and Mossif now is launching his bid from the back of the pack. The quarter was a quick one, 21 seconds flat, and it is Olympic Prospect now who comes to the top of the stretch with the lead by a length. Last year's winner, very subtle now, running at him from the inside. Precisionist is right there, racing in 3rd position, and in between horses, Gulch is right there, 4th. On the outside, Play the King now, and they're down to the final furlong. Very subtle has now taken the lead. On the outside, Play the King is charging hard. Gulch is right there. Gulch emerging with the lead. Play the King. It's Gulch. Play the King. Here's the wire. And Gulch has won it. And a salute of victory from Angel Cordero Jr. Gulch coming from slightly off the pace, and he goes on to outgame Play the King in the Breeders' Cup Sprint.
Angel Cordero aboard the late-running sprinter. He wanted a fast pace and got it on this sloppy track at Churchill Downs. The 4-year-old Kentucky-bred Gulch is the winner of the Breeders' Cup $1 Million Sprint. Sired by the 19-year-old great sire, Mr. Prospector. Angel, congratulations. You've got one in the bank.
Thank you. This is my birthday present.
And how do you think the track will affect the longer races that we're about to see?
Thank you, Chris.
Angel, stop, G.
Angel, how about the longer races as we get to the dirt races over a mile? How will the track affect those?
The track is soft. The grass is soft, but the dirt is good.
It's tough, but very quick, and certainly the speed of Gulch down the stretch with Angel Cordero guiding the winner, $450,000 to the winning sprinter Gulch.
It was awful.
Awful in the worst sense of the word. Blanche heard it.
Who heard it first?
Bert, you heard it first.
I heard it first. I was sitting right there.
Most awful sound you ever heard.
Amen.
It was more like a hissing sound
It
to
was
me.
a buzz.
Well, so be it, but I think it had hissing overtones.
Let's just say you could not describe it with the human mouth.
Say no more.
I'm taking early retirement.
If your long distance sounds bad, call now and hear why 9 out of 10 business people prefer the sound quality of U.S. Sprint.
It's a Radio Shack Merry Christmas.
The Tandy 1000 HX computer is a great family gift. It was sale priced at only $4.99.
And with this color monitor, the system was still less than $7.99.
It's IBM PC compatible and comes with easy-to-use desk-made software.
So the kids can do homework, and we can play Christmas music.
And the $200 savings helps me balance our budget.
Save $200 on the Tandy 1000 HX, only $4.99 with software. Complete system less than $7.99. Only at Radio Shack.
The American desire to succeed runs in the family, brought here by your great-great-grandparents and handed down to you. In that same spirit of success, Citicorp and Citibank help more Americans own homes, attend college, and get what they want with MasterCard and Visa cards than any other company. We also serve millions of customers around the world. Citicorp, because Americans want to succeed, not just survive.
Top dragsters burn up the tracks at the NHRA Winston Finals of Drag Racing. Red hot rod action on NBC Sports World.
The unofficial winner, Gulcher, heard Angel Cordero say that it's an early birthday present for him. He'll be 46 years old in 3 days. Gulch unofficially on top. Went off at 5-1 as part of the entry. Play the King and a Fleet. And very subtle, last year's winner finished 4th. A Fleet was flying on the rail.
He was indeed, and Gulch out away from the rail. He's wide here. You see him in the green colors with the white shadow roll on his nose, overtaking very subtle and Olympic Prospect, holding off Play the King, and in on the rail. Watch a Fleet of this move in the final 16th of a mile. But it's Gulch giving Cordero his second Breeders' Cup triumph. He won for trainer Wayne Lucas on Life's Magic back in the Distaff in 1985. Here's the head-on view. Here's Gulch now with a white shadow roll on, being whipped right-handed by Cordero, moving between horses there with Play the King on his outside, Olympic Prospect on his inside. Cordero switches the whip to his left hand, beating furiously and alternating with a hand ride, and gets Gulch up to win it. This is a third time the charm for Gulch. He was 5th in the 1986 Breeders' Cup Juvenile, 9th in the 87 Classic, and Cordero celebrates a victory in the 88 Sprint.
Well, some big prices on the board with Play the King, a long shot, finishing 2nd. That'll create a $582 exacta. Those are musical terms for Jay and Harvey.
Well, Harvey did a pretty good job. He kind of liked the 4 a little bit, but Harvey, it's Peter Brandt's charge that gets home.
Well, Peter Brandt, we picked Gulch last year in the Classic, no win. What happened in the Bosberg? You took dead aim at Mining, and then the horse hung.
Well, I think he was coming off a mile and an 8th race, and he probably wasn't as sharp, and I think Wayne was really getting him ready for this Breeders' Cup Sprint, and just great honor, great field of horses, and this is the ultimate honor for a horse.
You sure did, and you were pointing him for this most of the year.
Right. This was the ultimate goal all the time. We really thought that he was the best sprinter in the country, and we stretched him out a little bit, and certainly that dulled him, but I told Peter we'd have him ready for 6 furlongs this time.
You did
Wayne,
have him.
You were watching on the replay as Cordero did his job. He really got into this horse.
I thought we'd probably have to pay him time and a half for that because he did a beautiful job. I mean, we were concerned early on that he was too far back, but when they threw up the 21, we said we're okay. And when he got through between horses, I almost jumped the rail myself to help him. It was wonderful.
Nice way to start your day.
Oh boy, this is something else. I'm so happy to be able to win one for Peter. He's been so cooperative and stayed with us all year and believed in our program, and for us to win one for this guy right here means a lot.
You also must have been pretty happy the track came up like this. This is Gulch's kind of track.
I had said earlier that I thought the 3 Mr. Prospectors had the best shot to win the race, whichever, a Fleet, Mining, or this horse here. And I think that sometimes when a track's like this, the pedigree gets very, very important.
Well, it was a super race. Everything turned out okay for you.
a year late for me, but that doesn't matter. We congratulate you both.
Thank you. It's a thrill. I think I'll watch this over and over.
You can see Cordero.
He's pumping and working, isn't he?
Sure.
Right here, I knew the little horse wouldn't give up. Maybe the 1 1/8 here, Peter helped us in the end. That's pretty. That's pretty.
Well, thank you both very much, and congratulations. It's always nice to win this first one, Wayne.
Thank you. We're trying to get along with it.
Wayne Lucas, who will be back with 5 entries in the Juvenile Fillies in the next race. That's his 7th win as trainer, and that is a Breeders' Cup record, and here are the official results.
Gulch $13.60, $6 and $4.60. Long Shot Play the King, $27.40, $13.20. A Fleet was 3rd. The exacted payoff, look at this, a $2 wager gets you $582.40.
Oh, my. Well, once again, the celebrated daily racing form cartoonist Peb joins us with his special look at racing, especially in the sprints. How many times have you wished that your horse could get out quicker? And we'll return after these words from your local station.
And more than half think he will win the Distaff.
Both of them for being too mean. Is this going to be the night of the nice guys?
Who's best equipped? Sit across the table from Mikhail Gorbachev.
President of the United States.
Watch your vote count on NBC News.
Mr. Gingrich promised not to cut federal employee benefits, but he consistently cut them every time he voted.
He's messing with my bread and meat, which is Social Security.
And when Mr. Gingrich abandons us for wild ideas about space colonies, when he wants to abolish Social Security and give us a 9% Gingrich tax, I say it's time for a new Congress.
David Worley for Congress. Recreational Factory Warehouse, now the nation's largest spa manufacturer, sets industry records with the introduction of the Penthouse, a complete portable spa system for just $9.95. But records are made to be broken. Meet the challengers. Key West, $14.95. Palm Springs, $18.95. Monterey, $24.95. You'd pay $1,000 to $3,000 more for these spas sold through dealers, but we're the factory. That's why nobody beats our price, quality, selection, or terms. Recreational Factory Warehouse in Norcross, Marietta, and Jonesboro.
Ted Bassett, the president of the Breeders' Cup Limited, to owner Peter Brandt. And Angel Cordero with his early birthday present. Gulch, the winner of the $1 million sprint. Greg Lewis joins us for this 1988 Breeders' Cup Day. He's on the infield.
Well, Dick, there are lots of ways to have a good time here at Churchill Downs on Breeders' Cup Day. Besides just betting the horses, you can come into the infield for a $2 general admission ticket and enjoy something that's being called a Kentucky Sampler. That's what all these people are doing here. What does that mean? It is a celebration of all that is Kentucky, a big festival. We've got bluegrass music going on over here just beside us. There are Kentucky foods. We've got catfish sandwiches, which are yummy, and odds are 5 to 3 that Jay Randolph would like me to bring him one. We've also got something here called burgoo, which is a stew they make in Kentucky. It's got everything you've got in the kitchen thrown into it, and it's supposed to be quite tasty. Also, 35 different booths featuring Kentucky crafts, and some people say here that this is the man with the best advice on how to bet these races. I think Harvey Pack would disagree. They're expecting 60,000 people here, maybe a few less than that, because we're getting a sample of something that isn't typically Kentucky right now. That's cold weather. But all of us here having a good time, yes? Okay, Dick, back to you.
Indeed, they're having a good time, and despite the weather, the love for racing in Kentucky reflected in the fact that we expect over 70,000 now. Juvenile Fillies next, 1 mile and a 16th, $1 million purse, and you see a rare moment in racing, a 5-horse entry, 5 fillies under Wayne Lucas, the trainer. Darby Shuffle, Leah Lucinda, Open Mind, Some Romance, One of a Klein, named after the owner Gene Klein, at 3 to 5. The morning line approved to fly at 20 to 1. Also in the field, Seattle Meteor has been scratched. Eloquent Minister at 5-1. Coach Chelsea 30-1. Another long shot stocks up. Sequay, maybe this is the kind of weather as we feel some sprinkles at 12-1 from Florida, and a Firm Classic at 6-1. Now to Jay and Harvey.
Well, Dick, we have a 5-horse entry coming up for Dwayne Lucas here, and it's a very unusual situation.
It certainly is. He almost didn't want to leave here to stay for the interview. The problem with it is it hurts because they have to be coupled in the betting because it's the same trainer. That's the law. So a lot of these horses, or some of the horses in the entry, haven't got much of a chance. But the best bet of all is to bet on them to show. They have to give you $2.10 for your $2. That's 5%. So if you bet $2, you'll collect your first ticket, win a dime. However, if you're at a track or at a simulcast or anywhere and somebody wants to stand on line to bet $2 to show, give them a dime and tell them to sit down.
Sage advice from Mr. Pack.
Well, let's correct something right now. Seattle Meteor has not been scratched. The number 3 Seattle Meteor has not been scratched. That was some false information. Now let's go to the rest of our experts here at Churchill Downs.
Sharon Smith along with Bruff Scott. Bruff, of course, representing European racing here. And interestingly, in this 2-year-old filly race, there is a filly who was raced in Europe, raced in the United States. She is going to face interesting track conditions here because of the rain today. What is your assessment of how she will handle the race, Eloquent Minister, and the track itself?
It is unique for a filly like her because she's actually run in these sort of conditions. She knows about going on dirt. She's been to England and indeed to Ireland, so she's about the most cosmopolitan girl in the field. But whether she's going to be good enough, I don't know. The trouble is that you take decisions on one race, and then it's going to rain, and to pontificate too much, I think, is very dangerous. The answer is the fastest horse is going to win, and that's what happens worldwide.
Interestingly, though, the track is not as slow as we might think. We look out there and see all this mud, and we know we wouldn't want to get into it, but these horses in the sprint ran a respectable race.
Oh, yes, and I went up to the jocks room beforehand, and they said, some of the local jocks told me that they'd packed it down, eroded a lot, they'd packed it down very hard, and so they actually, when they go through it, they're hitting a pretty fast surface. Indeed, makes horses very sore.
Of course, Bruff is also watching closely in the turf course because we do have 2 turf races coming up a little bit later on. So a lot of question marks today about track conditions and some mysterious horses, including the filly Eloquent Minister, who will be racing on something a little bit different right now.
As you can see, the light showers now falling here in Louisville will dampen some of the spirits, but not of this horse player. He wasn't a sprinter, but he sure got the job done. The manager and Hall of Famer to be Pete Rose. Hey, good to have the Cincinnati Red skipper with us.
And I think he is one of the many owners of Bet Twice. I think he has an ownership share in Bet Twice, who'll be racing today in the mile.
Tom, the fact that Lucas has 5 starters in this juvenile fillies. He had 4 last year, and we thought that was quite something. With 5, how does one divvy up his time? Where does he favor? How does he convince owners that he really is giving everyone equal training support?
Well, Wayne has a vast stable, Dick, spread out all over the country, and he has a man in charge at each of those sites. In fact, in this area, his son Jeff Lucas is in charge, and look at the 5-horse entry. In fact, it wouldn't be in some states an entry as one betting interest. California, for instance, they would be divided by owners. But here in Kentucky, if one trainer has more than 1 horse in the race, it is all coupled as one betting interest. Gene Klein looking on as Wayne saddles Some Romance. Now, how he decided which one he would personally saddle, I don't know. We'd have to ask him. But he is saddling Gene Klein's Some Romance in the paddock, and he has some assistant trainers, including, I'm sure, his son Jeff, saddling the other members of this entry.
Gene Klein with Open Mind, Some Romance, and One of a Klein. Al McGuire is here in Louisville this weekend, our basketball buddy. He goes back to Wisconsin days when Lucas was a high school basketball coach, and Al said, I told him to stay in coaching. Don't be crazy enough to go into racing. You don't know with all the unexpected traps in that business. He could still be making $10,000 a year.
Well, he's been the leading trainer 5 years in a row. He's way out in front in the money one. There's Jeff Lucas, Wayne's son, and there's Wayne himself. Nice hat, by the way. And what is really amazing, last year and again this year, Lucas, as the leading trainer, has amassed more purse money than the leading jockey, which is unprecedented in American racing history.
Sharon Smith is in the paddock area.
You know, one of the reasons that a trainer does well is that he will try things with a horse. Leah Lucinda, the number 1A part of his entry, is going today in blinkers for the first time. She's a 2-year-old filly. She hasn't been concentrating very well on her races. So they're going to try the blinkers today to see if that is going to work to make her concentrate. Jeff Lucas did indeed just saddle her. He's going down the line with the rest of the 5 horses in the
Where's the speed in this race, Tom?
Well, I'll tell you what, there are a number of fillies in here that have speed, and Darby Shuffle has speed, Eloquent Minister, Some Romance, One of a Kind, so 3 of the Lucas horses show speed. And all week we've been seeing the speed really hold up. There's been a track bias here at Churchill Downs favoring the speed. However, the track sloppy, and in the last race, Gulch came from off the pace, so perhaps that track bias lessened by the conditions today.
And if it should rain, obviously the track will become slower and will benefit those horses coming from off the speed.
Well, Dick, this Churchill Downs track has a lot of clay in it, and it's unlike some other racetracks in that the water mostly stays on top of the track. They sealed the track this morning. They didn't allow horses to work on it in the early hours today, and so most of the water has been kept from the base of the track. The water are mostly on top, while the bottom of it is still firm, although we have noticed the times getting slower as the race gets chopped up under use today.
And there's a piece of history for you, Breeders' Cup history. Julie Crone will be aboard the one horse in that entry, Darby Shuffle, owned by Joseph Allen and trained by Lucas, the first woman to ever ride in a Breeders' Cup race. Julie Crone aboard, and of course she'll have 49er in the $3 million Classic that will wrap up these 7 great races in Louisville.
In fact, she has 3 mounts on the card today. She also rides Dr. Bizarre in the Juvenile. She is the leading female rider. She is the winningest female jockey ever, and she looks for a Breeders' Cup win aboard one of the members of that favored entry at 4-5.
She's quite a dynamo, too. Apparently, she's been quick to use her fists when she doesn't like what some of the men have done to her. It's Chris McCarron aboard one of the Lucas entries.
And you notice they're wearing some new silks, aerodynamic form-fitting silks that we'll be talking about later in the program today. All the Lucas horses wearing them for Breeders' Cup events.
McCarron riding One of a Kind 1X. Let's go back to the official order of finish. And where did Mining, the unbeaten favorite, finally wind up?
Well, we see very subtle, 4th, defending her title. Precisionist just couldn't sprint with these horses. Made a little move at the top of the stretch, but one of the former champions, he won the sprint in '85. Olympic Prospect, the speedball, the speed didn't hold up. He faded to 7th. And there's Mining, 10th, suffering the first defeat of his career. It's likely he'll be retired to stud after this race. He had won 6 in a row. He'd had chips removed from an ankle, but a bad way to end what had been an unbeaten career. He winds up 10th for the Breeders' Cup Sprint. The horse is now entering the track for the Juvenile Fillies, and it's $1 million purse, with the Lucas entry continuing to be the heavy choice among the fans here at Churchill Downs. And number 1, Darby Shuffle, has won 2 of her last 3 starts, but has not won a graded stake. And as we noted, she does provide Julie Crone with her first Breeders' Cup mount, the first female to compete in the Breeders' Cup. 1A is Leah Lucinda, owned by the famed Calumet Farm. She didn't like the Santa Anita surface when she was beaten 14 lengths by One of a Kind in the Oakleaf Stakes. 1C is Open Mind, has raced only 4 times, closing fast to just missed by a nose of catching Some Romance in the Grade 1 Frisette. She could become the first New Jersey bred to win a Breeders' Cup event.
Lucas said his eyes really got big when he thought Some Romance was going off too cheaply. Bought as a yearling for $500,000.
She lost her first race, Dick, then she reeled off 4 in a row. Though she was life and death to hold on in the 1-mile Frisette, today she'll try 2 turns for the first time. The final member of the entry, 1X, is One of a Kind, a play on the name of her owner, who paid $575,000 for it at the yearling sales, and a good investment. She's won 2 of 3, including the Grade 1 Oakleaf at this same 1.1/16 distance. Number 2, Approved to Fly. In contrast to the blue-blooded Lucas fillies, Approved to Fly sold for $6,700 as a yearling. She began her racing career in Mexico and hasn't won since, though she was first and then disqualified in the Del Mar debutante. Number 3, Seattle Meteor, fell to earth with a thud after a dull 3rd in her last start at Keeneland, but she has been in the money 5 of 6 starts. She won the Grade 1 Spinaway in the slop at Saratoga. Number 4, Eloquent Minister, won her first 2 in Belmont in New York, then purchased by Robert Sangster, 1 of 2 in Europe racing there. Her trainer, Tommy Stack, is a former steeplechase jockey. Number 5 is Coax Chelsea. Owner Elmer Miller has bought a new pair of silks for this race. He has a superstition of buying a new set of colors before every stakes race in which his horses compete. Coax Chelsea has cost him for 6 sets already. I think they're going to get dirty, though, today. Number 6 is Stocks Up, second to One of a Kind in the Oakleaf. Wears blinkers for the first time today. One of the owners, California banker Alan Pribble, has been to every Breeders' Cup Day, but this is the first horse he's owned.
How about this for a hunch bet, considering the weather, Tom? Sequay.
Sequay has made more starts, 12, than any other horse in the race. Her owners named the filly after development of condominiums in Vero Beach, Florida. And is this an omen? Those condos are the spring training home of several Los Angeles Dodgers, surprise winners of the World Series. And number 8 is Affirmed Classic, lightly raced. She's been out only 3 times with 2 wins in Louisiana and a good second at Keeneland, ridden by Pat Day, the number 1 Breeders' Cup jockey with 4 wins. And here are the current odds as the 5-horse Lucas Entry continues to reign as the favorite at 4-5. So 4-5 on the Lucas Entry, which has gone up a bit. It opened at 3-5. Approved to Fly, one of the long shots, 45-1. Seattle Meteor, they like that race at Saratoga in the slop. She's 7-2. And the second betting choice, Affirmed Classic, third choice at 5-1.
Well, Tom, from inspiration to strength to intensity, those are power words in this sport of the great equines, and we are going to demonstrate those to you and bring them to life as we follow these magnificent thoroughbreds throughout today. Preparation from breeding shed to winner's circle, from AM gallops to the sprint home in the 9th race. Owner, trainer, jockey, thoroughbred, preparation, keys, performance.
I'm Jim Wilson. When my horse Winslow was hurt, we thought he would never be fit to race again. Then we started exercising him on a treadmill. It worked so well, I got a DP treadmill. It's a good one. I know, because I bought the company and brought the ownership back to America. So my horse is fit to race again. And now, it's my turn.
DP products get you fit for life.
DP. Introducing a sedan with the heart of a lion, the all-new Toyota Cressida. Inside, the majestic body beats a powerful 24-valve, 190-horsepower engine. Plus, legendary Toyota quality. Quality that has made Cressida the most trouble-free new car sold 2 years in a row. Cressida for $89, the king of luxury performance sedans and the pride of Toyota.
Staying on top is not easy. You have to give 110% and expect it from yourself, everyone, everything. Speed Stick deodorant gives 110%. That's its edge. Why? It has no alcohol, and alcohol evaporates. Speed Stick protection doesn't evaporate even after 24 hours. Glides on dry in just a few strokes. That's 110% protection.
Speed Stick deodorant, the wide stick.
That's your edge.
By minute.
Welcome back to Churchill Downs. A dozen 2-year-old fillies at 1 1/16 miles in the $1 million Juvenile for the ladies. The race begins in front of the grandstand. It's a fairly short run to the first turn. A disadvantage for the horses like One of a Kind that have drawn an outside post. And for a look at the top fillies in the country, let's go to the race behind the race. Here's Harvey and Jay.
The ladies get together, and here's One of a Kind. This is only her 4th race. Lucas, Klein, McCarran. They can make some magic. Here's One of a Kind in the Oakleaf, 1 1/16 miles at Santa Anita.
This is a 2-turn race, exactly as the one is today. She's an awfully good filly, and she's just part of a very powerful team.
And here's more of that handful, Some Romance. 1 4 of 5, and this horse loves to be on the lead. Here's Open Mind, 2 wins and 2 seconds in 4 starts. Some Romance and Open Mind got together in the Frisette at Belmont.
Going back to his roots, D. Wayne Lucas, once a basketball coach, he's sending out 5 young ladies in this juvenile, and here's 2 of them. In this race, Some Romance figured to be the easy winner. Open Mind, nobody really liked her. Now watch Some Romance nearing the finish line. Is she tiring, or is the rider just letting up on her? I doubt very much if she was letting up on her, but here comes her stablemate, Open Mind. Now there's 2 more on the team.
Eloquent Minister may challenge. Robert Sangster now owns the Kentucky bred, who has campaigned in the U.S. and the British Isles back in June at Belmont. Here's the action in the Garden City.
She wins this by 12 lengths. Looked like a real champion. Sangster took her to England. Once on the turf, she lost, and then she won. She's back in Kentucky now, and she may be the challenger to Team Lucas.
Well, let's do the accounting. Harvey Pack picked a Fleet to finish first, bet $25 first race. A Fleet was third, so he has 75 left. How, Harvey, do you go against the 5 filly entry?
You just about don't go against it. If they were split, I'd go against them because there's 5 of them. I won't really take a big shot. Eloquent Minister wasn't as fast as these when she left America. Maybe the Sangster people have done something with her. You see the size of that bet. $2 on Eloquent Minister.
You're not giving much credibility to that bet, are you?
What a guy. $2. Eloquent Minister at 9-1. The current odds as they approach the gate. 3-5 now on the 5 filly entry, approved to fly 40-1. Second choice of those wagering, Seattle Meteor at 7-2. Eloquent Minister 9-1. Coax Chelsea and Stocks Up 35 and 21-1. Sequoia at 14-1. A Firm Classic, the third choice at 5-1.
And I would expect Some Romance to show the early speed, Dick. She's coming from one of the outside post position 10. And a couple of horses that come from off the pace could be in trouble. They're down on the inside. Approved to Fly in post 1 and Leah Lucinda in post 3. You're going to have to use a little early speed to get position before they settle into stride to come from off the pace, as did Gulch in the first race of Breeders' Cup races here today.
Eloquent Minister, a little trouble going into the gate. There's Bruff Scott.
Yes, they're just getting loaded, and Derby Shuffle with Julie Crone already installed 2. She's making history, but don't start saying any fancy words about, oh, a girl doing it. She's a real tough cookie, very talented rider, and she's already got 1,000 winners to her credit.
We're set for the Juvenile Fillies here in 1988, $1 million Breeders' Cup race. Let's go to Tom Durkin.
And they're at the gate for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies. Again this year, Wayne Lucas sends out a heavily favored 5-horse entry into this Breeders' Cup for Juvenile Fillies. Heavily favored here at 3-5, but this is a race that has had some upsets in the past. Epitome last year among them. They're in the gate, ready for the start, and they're off. And Coax Chelsea was off slowly a length. Also off a step slow was Seattle Meteor, and they pass us now for the first time. One of a Kind has asked for run early. Eloquent Minister is right there, and in between horses, Some Romance. So those 3 now will vie for the lead. Stocks Up has come out running in 4th position. Sequoia is now 5th toward the inside. A Firm Classic is running in 6th position early. Derby Shuffle has come away racing 7th. The Calumet filly, Leah Lucinda, is now 8th. Seattle Meteor now goes to the outside for clear running. Then it's approved to fly toward the rail. Open Mind is next, and she is better than 15 lengths off the lead. Coax Chelsea a long shot, lags behind as they continue up the backstretch. Moving over to the half-mile pole, it is still Eloquent Minister holding on to the lead by a length and a half. One of a Kind on the outside. Some Romance is now 3rd. Gary Stevens asking him for more and run now, and she's moving through in between horses. Then farther back, Stocks Up now is asked for more run. 3 furlongs from the wire. Sequoia is now kept close to the pace. Just 4.5 lengths off the lead as they move midway around the far turn. Then it's Derby Shuffle next. Then farther back, Seattle Meteor is launching her bit from the back of the pack. A Firm Classic. Leah Lucinda is moving to the outside now as the field turns for home. Some Romance now is sent through an opening toward the inside. Sequoia is now set for the drive and darts to the inside. On the far outside, Seattle Meteor closing in. Leah Lucinda is also right there. Open Mind is moving through. Approved to Fly is also right there. And a Firm Classic. It is wide open. Anyone's race. Derby Shuffle moving into contention. Approved to Fly is there. Some Romance. Open Mind flying on the outside. Derby Shuffle. Open Mind now emerging with the lead. Derby Shuffle. Open Mind wins it going away. There were 8 of them across the track at the 8th pole, and the Juvenile Fillies was decided in the final furlong. as Open Mind comes from off the pace. Cordero does it again.
Angel Cordero, light the birthday cake, get the candles out for Cordero. Back-to-back wins. First Gulch, and now Open Mind. And what a ride on this New Jersey bred. And those colors of Eugene Klein, and the combination of Klein and Lucas, again collaborating for an apparent win. In just 4 career starts, Open Mind winning 2 and finishing second twice. Open Mind rallying down the stretch under the whip of Angel Cordero. Angel,
yeah.
Now how do you feel?
I'm tired. Very tired.
Well, where did you feel that your filly had a chance to win it?
On the 8th pole, when I finally got him around them horses, I thought she had a good chance to win it. The first part of the race, I didn't think she was going to be on the board.
Did you have your eye on any particular filly?
Well, this is a nice filly, but I think these colors I'm wearing is helping. I'm 2 for 2. I don't believe it.
You're going to be with us in the next race.
It's either Wayne or the color, but somebody's doing something right here.
Well, in the past, we've had Chris McCarron and Gary Stevens joining us, but they were injured. Well, we've got Angel Cordero as the third announcer in the booth today. Another win for Cordero, 2 for 2.
How hot can it get inside your car's engine? This hot. 570 degrees under extreme conditions. Take a leading motor oil. Take Mobil 1 and watch. Of course, Mobil 1 costs more. But under extreme conditions, when you see what can happen to conventional motor oil, it doesn't pay to play with fire. Mobil 1. Isn't your car worth the extra protection?
Surprise. Here's the tickets for your honeymoon.
Oh, Dad, you shouldn't have.
And we're going with you.
Oh, you shouldn't have.
Northwest frequent flyers earn free trips fast, so you can give them away or go away or both.
My mom's going to Tokyo on business. Tokyo, where's that? About 1,000,000 miles away. Wow, she better bring a sweater.
Every day, Northwest flies from more of the U.S. to more of Asia than any other airline.
What happened when Sony put this incredible color TV and one of our most advanced VCRs into this machine? They shrunk. Introducing Video Walkman from Sony, the portable TV and VCR that takes video out of your home and into your life.
America's favorite pastime returns to NBC as the nation's top rollers battle it out for Bowler of the Year honors. Join Jay Randolph and Hall of Famer Earl Anthony for the PBA Fall Tour next Saturday on NBC.
Oh, Eugene Klein with his 5th Breeders' Cup win. And the Phillies have been kind to Klein from Rancho Santa Fe, California. Open Mind. And Wayne Lucas, the trainer who won with Gulch in the first rate. Lucas had the top 3 horses with Darby Shuffle and Leah Lucinda following Open Mind. Let's go to Jay and Harvey.
Gene Klein, we have been unable to do this show without you any year. This is every year we seem to have you here. Now, when you've got as many go, you had Open Mind, you had some romance. Who did you watch during the race?
I watched all 3 of my fillies. I knew that the way the track was playing, the front-running fillies were going to have some problems. And Open Mind, I knew she'd come from behind. Whether she'd have enough to win it or not, I don't know. But Angel gave her a sensational ride.
Gene, here you are now. Look back in the pack. Look at Cordero.
Look at him come. Look at him come between horses as nobody does it any better than Angel in this situation. There he goes. He's got her moving. And she is a sensational filly. She almost beat Some Romance last time out. And I think she's now the best 2-year-old filly in the country. She's beaten the best. A terrific field of horses, and I'm very excited to be up here with you gentlemen once again.
5th time for you.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
thank you. Gene Klein.
Angel Cordero, 2-4-2. Open Mind, the winner, and those colors are remindful of those that won the Kentucky Derby back in May, winning colors, Eugene Klein's 3-year-old filly. Sharon?
We know is Julie Crone, who had very nearly as good a race. Julie Crone becoming the first woman to ride in a Breeders' Cup race and finishing second. And anybody who had any doubts about your ability to ride in this company has got to not have them anymore.
Well, I think I'm riding for a few of the finest trainers in the world today, Woody Stevens and Mr. Wayne Lucas, and his operation is just like first class, and it's an honor to be considered, you know, it's an honor to be considered possible, you know, capable to ride his horse and everything, and it's pretty thrilling to be here today, even though the weather's bad.
Interestingly, though, the horses have come off the pace pretty well today, including yours, and you usually don't see that so well on a track like this.
Well, the horses that have been going to lead have been going unusually fast also, so as far as considering it's a track bias, I don't think it's very fair, because I'm sure there's going to be some speed horses that hang on today, you know, just because of the bias. The horses that have been going to the lead are just stopping because they're going too fast.
Well, it's Julie Crone second in her first ever Breeders' Cup race.
Okay, that'd be good.
And a happy young lady she is, and you see the unusual numbers on the board. 1C, 1 and 1A, $340, $3, $280. You had to go all the way to the 4th horse to find your exacta at 1 and 2, and that was approved to fly. Those are the official results. Haven't cashed a ticket myself since Seabiscuit. Maybe my sources of information are wrong. Whom do you like in the upcoming Distaff? We'll return to Churchill Downs after these words from your local station.
Thursday, the Cosbys welcome a new baby, and TV's funniest father becomes TV's funniest grandfather.
Breathe in the bag, boy.
Watch America's favorite family get a little bigger.
I only hope that I can do as good a job with my children as you've done with yours.
It's impossible.
A Cosby 1-hour special delivery Thursday.
The holiday comforts for home.
Enjoy the sounds of the season with quality audio equipment at special reduced prices during Robert's Super Holiday Sale. Save on your choice of CD players with remote control. The top-selling brands Sony, Pioneer, and Magnavox. Your choice a low $279. Visit our complete audio department for Super Holiday savings at Robert's.
Robert's, all the holiday comforts for home.
It takes a team with experience to make sense out of an election year.
Close teamwork can report the local meeting to a national vote.
A news team that covers the world brings perspective to election results.
And a team that knows Atlanta clarifies the impact at home.
Working together brings the insight needed for Decision 88.
Clear.
Understandable.
Together.
Complete local and national coverage. Decision 88, Tuesday on 11 Alive.
The 5th running of the Breeders' Cup is being brought to you by the new Polaroid Impulse camera. Go with your impulse. By Siemens, leading-edge technology that gives you an edge. By Budweiser, Beechwood Age for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. And by your Toyota dealer and the powerful 1989 Toyota Camry V6. Toyota quality. Who could ask for anything more? 2 races down, 5 to go. Let's go to Bruff Scott.
And here's Angel Cordero. It's Mr. Breeders' Cup today, Angel. It's all going for you, but it looks tough and dirty.
It is very tough. It's a big field here. It was hard to come through. But I'm having the greatest Breeders' Cup of my life. I only win 1 in '85, and now I win 2. I feel like I'm in heaven.
And it looks to be difficult holes to get through.
It is, because it's a lot of horses, and the track is not helping. You can see much where you're going, but I've been lucky so far. I think God is with me today.
Can horses work their way through this?
It's tough to get through on them, and especially if it rains again. But so far, so good. I'm going on a lucky streak.
Good. We'll see you later.
Okay.
El Cordero, who was 1 for 25 in previous Breeders' Cup races, is 2 for 2 in Louisville today. And the presentation trophy for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Filly Championship, Warner L. Jones Jr., chairman of the board of Churchill Downs Incorporated, to owner Gene Klein, owner of the winner Open Mind, and perhaps we'll see her next May here at Churchill Downs in the Derby. Official order.
Yeah, it is a 1-2-3 sweep for Team Lucas. Open Mind, Darby Shuffle, Leah Lucinda, 3 of the 5. in the Lucas entry. And as we look down the rest of the field, the way they finished, we'll see that eloquent minister, who we thought might run well, brought up the rear.
Well, at the races, the proper equipment, a program, a form, and binoculars, and it helps to have a keen race caller to help you to focus on the right horse. Our race caller, Tom Durkin, offers his tips on how to really follow the horses.
The racing form can tell you a great deal about how horses should perform during a race, but once that starting gate opens, almost anything can happen. Let's take a look now at a few key situations that I watch for as races develop. First of all, the start. Those first few crucial strides from the gate can set the tone for the entire race. Let's take a look at the start of last year's Breeders' Cup Turf, in which Angel Cordero was looking to get the early lead on a horse called Great Communicator. Unfortunately for Cordero, there were some other jockeys who had the same idea. Great Communicator broke well and was hustled hard to get the early lead. A fast pace was established, and Great Communicator had no speed left for the finish. The start of the Turf Classic at Belmont Park was the exact opposite. No one wanted the lead. So Cordero, here riding Sunshine Forever, assumed the lead easily. As the other jockeys were taking back, Cordero sent Sunshine Forever to establish a slow early pace and went on to win wire to wire. Every jockey knows that the shortest way around the racetrack is on the rail. But watch out, because these horses can sometimes get in trouble, especially if they're in behind tiring horses. Every jockey also knows that when horses get leg weary, they tend to do one of two things: bear in toward the inside rail or bear out. Well, if you're in behind them on the rail, you better hope that they bear out. Here is Manila in the 1986 Breeders' Cup Turf and rail-riding Jose Santos. Well, they didn't bear out in front of him, and Santos was forced to snatch his horse up and take him to the outside, losing momentum while altering course. Only a remarkable champion like Manila could overcome trouble like this to go on and win. In contrast, they did bear out for Freddie Head and Miesk in last year's Breeders' Cup Mile. It was a brilliant but daring race ride. Head saved every inch of ground till they entered the stretch and boldly sent Miesk through an opening. Had that opening not developed, Miesk would have been a Breeders' Cup also-ran, not a Breeders' Cup champion. Well, jockeys communicate with horses in any number of ways, mostly with their hands. Sometimes they even talk to them, you know, words like giddy up and to that effect. But you really can't see them talking to the horses as a race develops. But one thing you can see is how a jockey uses a whip. Now, if he wants just a little run from a horse, he might show the horse the whip, run it up next to his head, or a light tap on the shoulder or the rump. But when he wants a lot of run from his horse, that's when he goes to the whip in earnest. It's the jockey's way of saying to the horse, I want everything that you have, and I want it now. And when now is before they near the top of the stretch, it's a bad sign. Craig Perret, riding Bet Twice, fading into third, resorted to the whip early in the Meadowlands Cup. The eventual winner, Ali Shiva, moved by under a strong hand ride. Here's the Travers Stakes with 49er on top with Chris McCarron. At the top of the stretch, McCarron was hand-riding 49er. In mid-stretch, he showed the whip to the horse. Then he gave him one good whack on the right side, and then he waited till the final 16th to go to a vigorous left-handed whip, to which 49er responded and won.
Well, Tom, in the Distaff coming up, there will be plenty to watch. Some talented fillies. Epitome, who won the Juvenile Fillies a year ago, a long shot as part of an entry here. Winning Colors, who won the Kentucky Derby here at Churchill Downs, part of the number 2 Lucas entry, is at 3-1. Goodbye Halo at 5-1. But, of course, the morning line favored at 2-5, the unbeaten filly, Personal Ensign.
Back to our equine power words, and this sport indeed exudes beauty, synonymous with the thoroughbred and its environs.
Announcing a dramatic breakthrough in shaving technology. The new Remington Microscreen Ultimate shaves as close as a blade and closer than any other electric shaver, or your money back. The Ultimate's exclusive beard lifter gets whiskers other shavers leave behind. And like all Remington microscreen shavers, the first screen shaves incredibly close, the second even closer. Try the new Remington Ultimate now. It will shave you as close as a blade and closer than any other electric shaver, or your money back.
My palms used to sweat when I had to get on the highway. Now with my Camry V6, I just punch. Yeah! Punch it, Margaret! My Toyota, I love it.
The 1989 Toyota Camry V6. 24 valves, 153 horsepower to please even the toughest customers.
We just fell in love with life in the fast lane.
My Toyota, who could ask for anything more?
For the jockey, as one race finishes, the next begins. His business is winning. His preparation, deliberate. But the key to winning is teamwork. The jockey and the thoroughbred. The best team in sports. See the best team in sports at a track near you.
And on top it's War Admiral with Pompoon on the outside. But they're waving the stick. Charlie Kurtzinger's waving the stick at the Admiral. He's drawing away. He's an easy winner. And here comes the finish. War Admiral much the best.
Churchill Downs in 1937, Kentucky Derby. Triple Crown winner War Admiral, the son of one of the greatest racehorses in history, Man of War, part of the heritage of breeding and racing here in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Well, since the start of this day, now live after 3 o'clock in Louisville, dark skies and light rain is falling once again. The track is sloppy. Speed is not holding. It's getting deeper, and that may bode well for those horses that like to come off the pace. And as we look ahead to the next $1 million race, the Breeders' Cup Distaff, let's see if we can't find some inside information. I wonder where Greg Lewis is.
All right, thank you, Dick. Well, Woody Stevens, you are 5 for 5 in the Belmont, and you are 0 for 4 in the Breeders' Cup, but you have a very big race coming up for you, and that is the Classic. How is 49er, and how do you like the weather?
He's fine. I think he'll handle this track perfect. He's run well in the mud. He won the Sanford in it last year, and I thought he ran awfully well. He's doing well now, and his last race has been very good.
All right, and what about Julie Crone? Obviously, you're very happy with that decision. She's got a second here already.
She's rode this horse one time, and I was so pleased. I thought she rode him as good as he could be rode. He ran far, and he seemed very happy, and I'm happy to have her.
All right, have you looked at the distaff here, and have you got any picks coming up?
Not really. I just feel I'm waiting for these 2 races I run in. I'm in the 7th with Posen, which he's won 5 stakes over the grass this year, and he's run awfully hard, and so is 49er. So I think this is the first year that I've run horses in the Breeders' Cup that I have a chance.
All right, well, we'll follow that story. Right now, let's go back to Dick Enberg. Dick?
All right, Greg, no information there. Doggone. Well, we do have some added information for you. The track is getting slower, deeper as we go through the race program of this day, and it's now the condition of the track has been changed from sloppy to muddy now as we await the distaff, and Personal Ensign will have to run through the mud, going for 13 straight wins.
She is a special filly, Dick, and she has run in the mud twice. Needless to say, she won both those efforts because she is unbeaten in her 12 career starts. That's really an amazing thing because she has 5 surgical screws implanted in her left hind leg. This was the injury that you see, the break in the left hind leg, and surgery was performed, and the surgical screws were implanted. She is coming up to the final race of her career today, and she has done all this while racing with the surgical screws. You see the process that implanted the screws that hold that fracture together on her left hind leg.
Well, she has a date, does she not, with the Mr. Prospector in the breeding barn next spring?
This will be her final race. She'll be retired to be bred to the leading sire, Mr. Prospector, beginning next spring, Dick.
Prof. Scott?
And a fascinating thing, Personal Ensign, because she is unbeaten. When did the last star horse go right through a career unbeaten? We haven't had one in Europe since Rebo 30 years ago, and here in America, Colin in 1908. 80 years since a star went through unbeaten. This afternoon is going to be the final test.
They're on the track for the $1 million distaff, and here are the ladies.
Number 1 is Epitome. The upset win in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies last year propelled her to an Eclipse Award, but in her first start as a 3-year-old, she suffered a deep leg cut that sidelined her for 6 months. She has 2 wins and a disappointing second since her return. She teams up with Pat Day, just like last year. The other half of the Phil Oswald trained and John Bell-owned entry is Hala Cab at 5, the oldest horse in the field, earned a trip to the Breeders' Cup by winning Keeneland's Grade 1 Spinster at 25-1.
And here is the Kentucky Derby winner from last spring and May, Winning Colors, but she's not won in 4 starts since.
After that grueling Triple Crown series, after becoming only the 3rd filly to win the Derby, she took a couple of months off. In 2 races back, she was second to Personal Ensign, but then was a very tiring 4th in Keeneland's Spinster. The other half of the Lucas entry is 2B Classic Crown. Slow to mature, she has 2 wins this year, including the Grade 1 Gazelle. Lucas says she deserves a chance to try to win today. Number 3, Goodbye Halo, winner of 4 Grade 1 races this year, including the Kentucky Oaks here at Churchill Downs. Trained by Hall of Famer Charlie Whittingham, who won the Classic with Ferdinand, now retired last year. Goodbye Halo won 5 of her first 6 before losing her last 2. Number 4, Shamsay, took 7 in a row to begin her career, has never been out of the money. Both times those that she faced Personal Ensign, she lost by 6 lengths. Number 5 is Willa on the Move, bought for $750,000 this summer by Ronnie Lamarck, the singing co-owner of Risen Star, the now retired Preakness and Belmont winner. In addition to leading cheers for Willa on the Move, Lamarck is in Louisville lobbying for Risen Star to be the champion 3-year-old of 1988.
Yeah, they compare Personal Ensign, do they not, with that great filly Ruffian, who won her first 10 starts.
In fact, there are those that say Personal Ensign is better than Ruffian was. She is truly one of the greatest racing fillies of all time, and bidding to retire undefeated, the first American major stakes winner to retire undefeated in 80 years. Owner Phipps and trainer McGahee hope for lucky win number 13 in her final start today. Number 7, Integra, in the money, 8 of 10 this year, but she hasn't won since May. By the way, just one little note, trainer William Helmbrecht is from the same town as Wayne Lucas, Antigo, Wisconsin.
Yeah, they're watching there with interest indeed. Well, it's a 2-horse or 2-filly race if you judge by how they're betting. Epitome and Hala Cab, the entry at 11-1. The Kentucky Derby winner, Winning Colors, the second choice at 9-2, along with Classic Crown in that entry. Goodbye Halo at 6-1, getting some support. Shamsay 45-1, Willa on the Move 18-1, and Personal Ensign, who has never gone off worse than 6-5 in her previous 12 starts at 1-5. Integra at 80-1.
It's new from Polaroid, the Impulse camera. Go where it takes you.
You got to go. Go with your impulse. You got to go. Go with your impulse. Go with your impulse.
Go with the new Polaroid Impulse camera.
Go with your impulse.
Your meeting. You nervous?
I didn't sleep a wink.
Go with your impulse.
Gene, it's almost time. Yeah, bachelor time's running out. I think the key word here is out. Poker with the guys.
Out. Handkerchief out.
No, handkerchief is in.
Fun and laughter out.
Now, station wagon's in. Bowling, what's bowling?
I don't bowl.
No.
Learn. It's the only way you'll ever get out.
With us. You see how that works, Dave?
For the friendship, the clean, crisp taste of Beechwood-aged Budweiser.
Let's go get him married.
Yeah. Now, poor Sue.
Sunday, the NFL plays here when the Dolphins battle the Patriots.
Before your team takes the field, our team hits the air. NFL Live.
Welcome back to Breeders' Cup Day at famed Churchill Downs in Louisville. Our third $1 million race coming up the Distaff for 9 fillies and mares on the dirt track at 1.25 miles. Post position shouldn't be a factor. Plenty of track going to the first turn. Speed isn't enough here. This is a test of stamina and courage, and the focus, of course, will be on number 6, Personal Ensign, now at 2-5, going for the 1988 Horse of the Year. Strong implications there. And now, as we look at this distaff for their race behind the race insights, let's go again to Jay and Harvey.
We get some insight into the distaff as we spotlight Personal Ensign, simply the best, undefeated. This is her 13th start. She's a remarkable racehorse. Here's Winning Colors, this year's gallant Kentucky Derby winner. Disappointed in the spinster at Keeneland recently, she came back after 3 months rest to go against Personal Ensign in the Masquette at Belmont.
If Winning Colors is on the muscle today, we may not just be seeing a coronation of Personal Ensign. We may be seeing another great matchup. Here she is in front at the top of the stretch at Belmont Park. Personal Ensign is going after her. You'd expect Winning Colors to collapse, but she doesn't. Here at Churchill Downs, speed is even better than it was that day at Belmont Park. But Personal Ensign is rarely denied. She never runs a bad race. She's one of the greatest. And if she wins the distaff today, she's racing into history.
Personal Ensign has taken on the very best, and she's never let down her talented trainer, Shug McGahee, who works for the famed Phipps family. And he has a way with the ladies.
One of the things we did do was go back and look and see people that could be filly trainers. It's very important for us that a trainer can train fillies, and as you know, very few trainers can train fillies over the course of time. We are not buyers at sales. We are producers of our own broodmares. Therefore, you have to have a record on the track.
Personal Ensign looking for something that has not been accomplished by a U.S. horse in over 80 years, winning the first 13 starts of a career, and this will be the last, and possibly will say goodbye as Horse of the Year. Pax Pool, well, the latest, he lost $2 in the Juvenile Fillies, so down to $73. I wonder if he's going to go for the odds-on favorite.
Well, we'll find out. You know, here in Kentucky, there's a lot of sentiment today for Winning Colors because of the Derby victory here, but there is Personal Ensign. I mean, what can you say?
Well, we're looking at a strange racetrack. It was sloppy, now it's muddy. Speed is not holding up as it has been the past few days. It's a treacherous racetrack. It may not even be a true one. But as for my bet, I'm taking this race to Texas.
To Texas?
You ever been to El Paso?
You're going to pass, huh? No bet in Pax Pool. As we get set for this one, he is passing.
That's what I like, a man with heart. All right, they're approaching the starting gate, and in that location is Bruff Scott.
Yes, it's a super moment here. You can see them out at the back there, and Personal Ensign, I haven't, of course, ever seen her before, and what a beautiful, strong filly she is. And also Winning Colors, I hadn't seen her, so it's very exciting. A Kentucky Derby winner. She was very much on the muscle when she came down here, very wound up and ready. And no doubt she'll be charging out as they come through. Anyway, there they are, beginning the file through towards the stalls, and I must say I'm impressed now with how quickly they load here. They go in, they load, they know the business. In Europe, sometimes we get a little bit finicky and take quite a bit longer to install.
This race is at 1 1/8 miles. In previous Breeders' Cup, it was over 1 1/4 miles. It's been shortened up this year, partly because of the suggestion of Wayne Lucas, and it'll be a Lucas horse, Winning Colors, in post position 8 today. That figures to show the early speed. Winning Colors figures to come away on top. That's the way she runs, and her running style, of course, not conducive to this track that we see. The real stretch runners here will come from the inside. Epitome in post position 1, and her entry mate, Hail a Cab, who is in post position 4. Those two figure to take back early, although being on the inside, they might have to use their horses just a little bit to get position before they settle into stride. But look for Winning Colors in post position 8 to set the early fractions here.
And those Winning Colors are those of the Gene Klein stable. It's interesting that Wayne Lucas, who has won this Breeders' Cup race, the Distaff, the last 3 years with Life's Magic in '85, Lady's Secret, remember, in '86 at Santa Anita, and Sacawista last year. He's already won the first 2 races today, and he has Winning Colors going now.
And Winning Colors, of course, is the first Kentucky Derby winner to return to Churchill Downs since Dusk Commander in 1970.
You know, we're looking at these fillies and we think they've got to be pretty miserable out there in the cold and the mud. Well, that's projecting on horses the way we feel out here right now. Horses don't mind it being cold. They feel energetic and they tend to run pretty well. They also don't mind the mud. Given half a chance, they'd lay down and roll. Now, what some of them do mind is insecure footing. Now, as the rain continues this afternoon, the danger of insecure footing increases, so some of these fillies may not like that.
On a muddy track, 9 fillies and mares ready to go. Let's go upstairs to Tom Durkin.
Personal Ensign has taken her place in the starting gate, and she will certainly take her place in history as one of the greatest fillies of all time. She seeks to retire here undefeated, the first major American horse to do so in 80 years. There is a Derby winner in the field in Winning Colors who seeks to stop her streak at 12. And they're up in the Distaff. Goodbye Halo broke well in Winning Colors now, and she's going to run right on the lead early. Well, On the Move has come out running in third, and she's taken in hand. Integra now has been gathered back in fourth position as they head for the first turn. Personal Ensign was away in good order now. She'll be floated a bit wide going into the turn by Sham Say. Epitome is saving ground all the way on the inside. And then Classic Crown is one horse beaten, and that is Hail the Cab as they round the first turn. And the Derby winner is Loose on the lead. It's Winning Colors now, and she's opened up by 4.5 lengths. Goodbye Halo is second, and Vasquez asking Sham Say for run now third toward the inside. Willa On the Move is racing in fourth. Integra is fifth on the outside. Personal Ensign, the undefeated filly, is now 9 lengths off the lead as they continue up the backstretch. It's still Winning Colors, loose on the lead by 2.5. Sham Say is running second. On the outside, Goodbye Halo in striking position is third. Willa On the Move is asked for more, run fourth. Personal Ensign is still 8 lengths out of it. There's a half mile to run, and Winning Colors doing what she did in the Derby. She's still free running on the lead. 3 furlongs to run, and she leads now by 3. Goodbye Halo beginning to pick it up in second now. Sham Say is third toward the rail. Personal Ensign is putting her run in on the inside now, and she takes to the outside. 5 lengths off the lead of Winning Colors, who turns for home here at Churchill Downs. Stevens going to a vigorous left-handed whip, holding on by 2. Goodbye Halo is charging hard. Here comes Personal Ensign, unleashing a furious run on the outside, but it is still Winning Colors. Goodbye Halo. Personal Ensign a 16th of a mile from the wire. Winning Colors is there. Personal Ensign, a dramatic finish, and here is the wire, and it is Personal Ensign there with Winning Colors in a photo. Very close. At the 16th pole, it looked like Personal Ensign was facing her first defeat, but in those final 110 courageous yards, she certainly proved herself a champion this afternoon.
Oh, my, the photos will be interesting and studied closely. Was it Winning Colors in the lead all the way, or did Personal Ensign catch the Derby winner at the wire? This is the NBC unofficial photo finish camera. And from our camera, unofficially, Personal Ensign has retired undefeated. 13 in a row for this great filly, bred in Kentucky and ridden masterfully by Randy Romero. Randy Romero, what are your thoughts as you came down that final furlong?
Talking to you, Randy.
Randy, your thoughts as you tried coming down the stretch, that long quarter-mile stretch here at the Derby, going after the Kentucky Derby winner, Winning Colors.
What was your thoughts?
Oh, it's the greatest feeling of my life. I've always dreamed to have an undefeated horse. I got it. I'm glad it's over.
Do you think you won it?
Yes, I did.
Well, our cameras, from our angle, you did, and now it is official. Personal Ensign has won the Distaff and maintains a brilliant, unbeaten career, retired and will be bred to Mr. Prospector in the spring, and there she is, one of the greatest fillies of all time now. We can write that story.
And what a way to go out with a courageous effort. It didn't appear that she had a chance an 1/8 of a mile from home. What a courageous effort, too, for Winning Colors on a track that does not favor speed.
In the past few weeks, you've heard a lot about World War II stories. This one really happened. Tomorrow, The Great Escape 2, The Untold Story.
Roberts, all the holiday comforts for home.
Don't
Don't wait for the holiday rush. Save now on RCA TVs during Robert's Super Holiday Sale. A 20-inch stereo portable with remote control, now $2.99. A 26-inch stereo swivel console with remote control, just $5.99. Roberts has Atlanta's broadest selection of the industry's top-selling brand, RCA, on sale.
Roberts, all the holiday comforts for home.
Hi, friends. Ed Binder at the world's largest Autoland of Forest Park, where we specialize in Chryslers, Plymouths, Yugos, and quality used cars. We have 88s and 89s on sale now. For example, a brand new Plymouth Voyager, only $49 down and $175 per month. Or a Chrysler New Yorker, only $229 per month. What do? You pick up the phone and dial 404-361-6550. Or better yet, come on down and let's make a deal today.
I think she's right there.
Randy Romero said that this is the best horse that he has ever ridden, and she shows her heart today on this muddy track at Churchill Downs with a brilliant rally down the stretch to catch Winning Colors by a nose at the wire. Let's go back to the head of the stretch.
By Halo beginning to pick it up in second now. Shamsay is third toward the rail. Personal Ensign is putting her run in on the inside now. She takes to the outside. 5 lengths off the lead of Winning Colors, who turns for home here at Churchill Downs. Stevens going to a vigorous left-handed whip, holding on by 2. Goodbye Halo is charging hard. Here comes Personal Ensign, unleashing a furious run on the outside, but it is still Winning Colors. Goodbye Halo. Personal Ensign a 16th of a mile from the wire. Winning Colors is there. Personal Ensign, a dramatic finish, and here is the wire, and it is Personal Ensign there with Winning Colors in a photo. Very close at the 6th.
And it is now official. Personal Ensign, the winner, paid $3, $2.20 to show, and $2.10, 5 cents on your dollar to show. Winning Colors at $2.80 and $2.20, and Goodbye Halo finishes third at $2.40. Exact a payoff of just under $10.
Dick, a magic moment, and for Ogden Phipps, you said you didn't think he was going to get there.
I didn't think so. She looked to be in trouble.
This has got to be a wonderful 13th victory for you. 13 out of 13, a man who has spent his life hoping for something like this.
She is certainly great to me.
Harvey?
I have Mary Jane McGahee, the trainer's wife, who cried after the race. Mary Jane, have you worked this filly?
No, I've never ridden her. I go with her in the morning on the pony.
Well, if you look there, now, I don't know about any of you, we thought she was beaten. I have Denny Phipps here. Denny, you said that McGahee handles fillies well. How did you feel now?
He handles them great. He did a wonderful job with this filly always, and she's just been a great filly and trained by a wonderful person.
Even you weren't sure of the margin of victory, were you?
No, we were at an angle that we couldn't tell.
Mr. Phipps, look at this move. The horse on the inside, now coming to the outside, and a distant fourth.
That's right. I was scared there. I didn't think she was going to get it.
Randy got into this horse, and she really started to pick him up.
Yeah.
Which leads right there.
She changed leads in mid-stretch. She didn't change them until then.
At the 8th pole.
Then she starts to really move. This is a very good way to go out before she goes back to Claiborne to beat a broodmare, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And now you can look forward to getting the babies.
Exactly.
Congratulations all around, sir.
Thank you very much.
Oh.
Jay, thank you.
And with the trainer, Shug McGahee, Bruff Scott.
Carey. Yes, Shug McGahee, many congratulations, Shug. What a filly.
Thank you. It was a great race. I thought she was hopeless to beat the 3/8 pole, which shows what a good filly she is to be able to overcome it and win.
I've, of course, not seen her before. She seems terribly brave.
She is. She's a very good filly with a lot of courage.
Well, she caught a game filly in Winning Colors, the Kentucky Derby winner, and it was an incredibly patient ride by Romero, who saved his filly and had enough left, just enough to catch her at the wire. What a race. Personal Ensign, 13 straight wins, retires unbeaten. Well, the track, according to Pet, offers an interesting juxtaposition for those who dare to wager the lesson painfully learned. This is a place, you know, where the windows can clean the people. 3 down, 4 Breeders' Cup races to go after these words from your local station.
something new out there. For all of you, the truck for 89, the all-new Toyota 4x2 Extra Cab SR5. Now available V6 power, real backseat space, and a new look that can only say one thing: Toyota quality.
Got it all now.
Toyota, who could ask for anything more?
There's finally a little guy that does everything the big guys do. Introducing Minolta's Maxim 3000i, the world's smallest, most affordable autofocus SLR. The first easy little camera that does it all with any lens. And big camera technology in a small body means results that are absolutely incredible. The big little Maxim 3000i.
Only from the mind of Minolta.
Oh, look at me back in the 60s, working up a sweat. Oh, and that's how I used to pump iron. Not today. Today we're exercising more and eating less red meat. But red meat is a great source of iron.
Only Kellogg's Bran Flakes has high fiber and 100% of the iron recommended today.
So now I pump a little iron outside and inside. You know, I haven't felt this good since I burned that bathing suit.
Kellogg's Bran Flakes.
Now there's a baseball game with all the sounds, all the action, and the challenge of the real game. Introducing play-by-play talking baseball. The best game next to the real game.
Will your new car outlive your new car loan? Give your engine extra protection and help keep your car running like new longer with STP's new Supra Wear Control, so you'll have something to show for your investment down the road.
Birdie.
Well, it's a gray day, but we've just seen a brilliant race, a magnificent effort by the unbeaten personal ensign. Randy Romero with a ride, and he's with Bruff Scott.
Randy, we've just heard Shug say that 3/8 he thought he had no chance. What did you think?
Well, I was getting a little worried, but I didn't get discouraged in my field. I know she makes a hard run, and I knew from when I got to the 70-yard pole I was going to get her.
You actually knew you'd get there, did you?
At the 70-yard pole, yeah, because the other mare was getting back a little bit, and my mare, she was just keep running. She kept running, you know. And I knew I was going to get him from the 70-yard pole to the wire.
It's an extraordinary thing to run 14 races undefeated. What's the secret for personal ensign?
She's determined. She's one. There's one in a million. You can get one like her, and she's the one. And what's so good about her? She don't want to get beat. She's determined to get the job done, and that's what she did today.
It's been great to watch her. Thank you.
And the official order of finish, Tom.
Well, personal ensign showing us her courage, and it is an amazing, no matter what the conditions, the Breeders' Cup always produces drama. Winning Colors had one of the great races of her life as well, and Goodbye Halo, who won the Kentucky Oaks here at Churchill Downs, finishing third. You see the remainder of the order of finish in the Distaff. Personal ensign, 1 in a million, said Randy Romero. She certainly is that.
Well, it's appropriate that a great lady in the Commonwealth of Kentucky, former Governor of Kentucky, the Honorable Martha Lane Collins, should present Ogden Phipps with a trophy, the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Championship, and that will be a filly that we won't forget and a race to be remembered often in the future.
I know I'll remember it. And how do you criticize perfection? Personal ensign, to me, is probably wrapped up Horse of the Year honors. It depends on what Ali Sheba does in the Classic, but she hasn't lost, and she certainly showed us her courage today. Racing, by the way, for only the second time in her career outside New York on a track that she may not have liked.
Of course, in the Classic, the $3 million race that will be the climax of today's activities at Churchill Downs. We'll see how Ali Sheba does. Ali Sheba beaten by a nose Ferdinand last year in the Classic, and it was a thrill last year, or earlier here. as it was last year, to see that magnificent finish. Many watching our telecast today are at other tracks wagering on Breeders' Cup races from thousands of miles away. Last year, over $22 million were bet on Breeders' Cup Day at simulcast centers. In many ways, off-track betting has been racing's lifesaver. And with a report, Ruff Scott.
Besides the traditional on-track betting windows, now fans often can wager at off-track betting shops, at inter-track facilities, a network of tracks within a state showing races from one location, or at simulcast locations, usually one track sending a major race to many others. Like the Laurel Sports Palace in Maryland, where fans have access to a bank of computers and a video replay center to enable them to better handicap the races, even when the live action is at Pimlico. Or like the lavish Winter Circle shops, dining and betting facilities operated by a consortium of Illinois tracks, like this one, which opened nearly a year ago in Rockford.
Horse racing is wonderful. We all love it. But the people that go to the horse races are the people that like to bet. And the people that like to bet on whatever is most convenient. And OTB is what makes horse racing as convenient as its competition, and that is a must.
Racetracks once feared off-track betting. Critics charged that if fans could watch and wager close to home, why would they bother to come to the racetrack? Tracks would simply become empty television studios, they said. The critics have been partially correct. At the New York Racing Association tracks, Aqueduct, Belmont, and Saratoga, attendance is nearly half what it was the year before off-track betting was introduced. But because of the increase in purses generated by additional revenue, racing is prospering in New York. Intertrack wagering has been responsible for the revival of a declining Maryland racing circuit. An average of over $600,000 is wagered daily at the Laurel Sports Palace on races from Pimlico. And the combined betting figures from the two tracks is up 25% from last year. As a result, purses also have risen at the same level.
Our purses are up an equivalent 25–30% over what they were in 1987, and it certainly provides our horsemen and those people who are investing in this business a true light behind the tunnel that, by golly, there are sufficient dollars, even in a state like Maryland, that you can run for.
However, what appears to be positive growth from a business standpoint may be a negative for the sport. Off-track, inter-track, and simulcast wagering may be simply making it more convenient for existing bettors without creating any new racing fans. But can racing exist without the dollars generated by these fairly recent forms of wagering? That's the dilemma facing racetrack executives in the not-so-distant future. Like it or not, a satellite dish at the track and some form of off-track betting has become as important as swift horses for the successful future of thoroughbred racing.
Ruff Scott, simulcasting as a concept actually began in Great Britain some 30 years ago. Now, what has been the long-range impact since it first started?
I don't think there's any going back, Dick. I mean, it's now 95% of all wagering in Britain is on off-track betting. The only trouble is that we think they're different audience. They don't actually go to the track, really, off-track bettors. But, of course, what you've got in the States, you're already locked into a much bigger deal of rake-off from off-track betting than we get in England. We get less than 1% in England. That's been our problem.
Well, of course, racing not only brings out the outstanding fillies and mares and colts and stallions, but it also brings out some of those people that are easily recognizable and stars in our society. And with one of those is Greg Lewis.
Thank you, Dick Enberg. Well, I'm with Walter Cronkite, and he is antsy to get up to the betting window. And I know you're an expert at analyzing races between Republican elephants and Democratic donkeys, but how about horses?
I'm about as good at that as I am with Republicans and Democrats. I haven't won one of those for a while either.
How have you done here today? And what about in that last race? Did you have personal ensign?
No, sir, I didn't. Yes, I did. I did have personal ensign in the last race. That's right, I did. But I had more money on other horses.
Well, maybe it'll get better later. Thank you for joining us, and go to the window to place that bet. Dick?
Well, there's no question of the electricity, the excitement of a day at the races, tens of thousands cheering and enjoying, but this is also a sport that enjoys its special moments of solitude.
cadence. It would look better in my living room.
Today, thousands of men share a common desire to be more fit, but many of them also share a common problem. Sensitive skin irritated by shaving. That's why there's AFTA, the rich, good-smelling lotion, clinically proven to soothe razor-scraped sensitive skin so it looks and feels more fit. Use AFTA before you run off to face the world. Sensible care for sensitive skin. AFTA Aftershave Skin Conditioner.
Attenzione! Tanto per cominciare, sapete che abbiamo più di 10.000 uffici in tutto il mondo?
Learning how to talk fast is one way to save on international calls.
In French, Mr. Duffy. Ah, bonjour, JVN, comment allez-vous, J. German, Mr. Baldwin.
Hallo, mir geht es gut. Wie geht es Ihnen? Ich möchte Ihnen gerne wichtige Ansagen über das Zeugnis der Firma machen, wie das über 10.000 Büros in allen Teilen der Welt unterhalten. Wussten Sie zum Beispiel, dass über 10.000 Büros in allen Teilen der Welt
There's a better way to save with U.S. Sprint's International Long Distance Sale. Save as much as 10 to 34% if you call now and switch to Sprint.
This hammer is twice as strong as this hammer. Tums EX is twice as strong as Rolaids, so Tums neutralizes twice the stomach acid. Tums EX, twice as strong as Rolaids.
Swaps and Nashua battling down the Churchill Downs stretch in the Kentucky Derby, and here comes the finish. It's going to be Swaps winning a length and a half. Nashua second, Summertan third. A front-running score for Willie Shoemaker on Swaps.
Memories of horses great echo throughout Churchill Downs. In 1955 Kentucky Derby, it was Swaps, the surprising invader from California, the winning jockey, the great Bill Shoemaker. Next up on today's Breeders' Cup program, the mile turf race. 3 of the previous 4 Breeders' Cup mile turf races have been won by horses that have raced in Europe and with a British eye toward today's race. Here's Bruff Scott.
And behind me is a horse called Hilton Brown. Now, you won't find him on your race car, but he's very important because he is the companion, travelling companion of the British champion Warning. He's been with him on the travel over. He was with him on the track. He was with him right here while he was saddling. And Warning is very relaxed. And the Warning against Miesk is indeed the European champion mile run here at Churchill Downs, Kentucky.
Well, 7 races today. We await the midpoint in a great day at Churchill Downs. The sprint won by Gulch with Angel Cordero. Wayne Lucas, 7th Breeders' Cup win. The trainer paid $13.40 coming from behind. And then the Fillies, Lucas again training the 1-2-3 finish, Open Mine. Another great ride by Cordero to win. Darby Shuffle with Julie Crone. And third was Leah Lucinda. And the Distaff, a truly superb race. The word great will be used often, but perhaps really belongs as personal ensign with Randy Romero. Noses out the Kentucky Derby winner, winning colors in the final strides, paying $3, 13 for 13 for the filly personal ensign, now retired. And they're on the track now for the first turf race of the day, one of 2 that we'll see, the Breeders' Cup Mile. And often this is a race that decides the European championships. We have a champion, Miesk, who won the mile last year from France. And Warning from Great Britain is the top miler there.
Always one of the most wide open races, Dick. And on the average, the mile has had the longest price favorites on the entire Breeders' Cup program over the first 4 runnings. And the European contingent is strong again this year, perhaps the best ever. The top 2 horses at a mile in Europe are in the field for the Breeders' Cup Mile today. Number 1 is Blushing John, part of the entry conditioned by France's top trainer, Francois Boutin. Winner of the classic French 2,000 guineas in the spring. He's been 4th in 3 Group 1s since then.
There's Miesk, 1A, trying to repeat her win at Hollywood Park last year.
That win made her America's champion turf mare. This year, she's raced only 3 times, winning 2 Group 1 races in France and losing by a head in the other. One of those wins was over Warning. She won't return to France. She'll remain in Kentucky to be bred after the race today. Number 2 is Posen, appears to prefer this mile distance and will lay just off the early pace, trained by Hall of Famer Woody Stevens. Number 3, Bet Twice, winner of the 1987 Belmont Stakes. He's had a great rivalry with Ali Sheba, but owner Bob Levy elected to bypass his old nemesis in the Classic and go here in the mile. Winner of over $3.3 million, Bet Twice was 3rd in both starts on the turf. He retires after this race. Number 4, Steinlen. Wayne Lucas has not trained many turf runners in the past. This is his first horse in the Breeders' Cup Mile. Steinlen has won 3 of 4 at a mile this year. His only loss on a soft turf course he didn't like. Number 5 is Ravenella, the 3-year-old filly who enters this race off a victory in Laurel's All Along Stakes a couple of weeks ago, her first U.S. start. Winner of 2 classic races, the English and French 1,000 Guineas. She has been beaten only twice in 9 lifetime starts. Number 6, Simply Majestic. Here's an interesting long shot. He's broken or tied 3 track records this year, including his last start, a wire-to-wire course record effort on the grass at Calder. Dangerous if he makes an early lead. Number 7 is Muhammad Abdu, an ordinary performer in Europe. He's been sensational in the U.S. for trainer Dick Mulhall. His only loss in 6 races here was at a 1.5 miles. 2 weeks ago, he set a course record at Santa Anita, winning after a 6-month layoff. Number 8, Nicolo Polo, got his first graded stakes win at Keeneland last month, but he looks to be outclassed. Probably shouldn't be in this race. Number 9, Mill Native, gave a rousing course record performance over the turf course at Woodbine to win the Arlington Million, his first U.S. start. In Europe, though, he was unable to beat the top milers.
And here's the one the fans here in Louisville have been waiting to see. Warning, considered the top colt in Europe running this mile.
His 5-length win in Ascot's Queen Elizabeth Stakes, said to be Europe's top performance of 1988. He's the 5th Breeders' Cup horse trained by Guy Harwood, who says he's learned the closer to the race that you come over, the better. This horse got here on Tuesday. Winner in 3 of 4 starts since a virus in the spring. Warning, by the way, is the betting favorite in England. And Master Christopher, another American horse that appears to be in over his head, trained by 25-year-old Michael Onett, who has had his license only 3 years.
Let's take a look at the current odds. We're just moments away. Blushing John and Miesk, the entry. The favorite at the moment at 2-1. Posen, Woody Stevens' horse, 16-1. Bet twice. Getting some solid support. The long shot Steinlen. Ravenella, 18-1. A good price for Ravenella. Simply Majestic. Mohammed Abdu, 14-17. Nicolo Polo, 22-1. Mill Native at 8-1. The winner of the Arlington. And Warning, the favorite at the moment at 2-1. Master Christopher, 80-1. They'll run on a course, a turf course that is considered firm at the moment. A firm course for the mile.
Sunday, it's a model Family Ties when the Keatons make a fashion scene. They love me. But does Alex have his own designs?
Didn't know you were getting breast. Dress!
Then on Day by Day, Eileen has an adventure in babysitting.
The potty, you have to empty it yourself.
Oh, my God.
It's all new laughs Sunday.
Public notice.
For health reasons. After 20 years in business, I quit.
Wolfman Unclay Furniture, College Park, Decatur, Marietta, and Gainesville is going out of business. Wolfman Unclay Furniture quitting business. $2 million of quality, famous name furniture must be sold immediately. Look, 4-piece bedroom set in solid wood from only $197. Large living room suite, sofa, and chair just $499. All wood bunk beds only $48. Day beds, brass or white, only $39. Save up to 70%. Wolfman Unclay Furniture, College Park, Decatur, Marietta, and Gainesville are going out of business.
Everything must go.
On the next On Trial.
Never intended to harm anybody.
A routine alimony hearing turns into an enraged bloodbath.
I begged him. I said, please don't shoot me.
I took care of Lane.
I yelled, drop the gun.
The bullet hit me in my head.
Was it the act of a deranged man?
Insanity is a legal term. It's not a psychological term.
Or a plea for justice? On Trial. Real people, real cases, real life.
Monday at 4 on 11 Alive.
Action at Churchill Downs moves to the 7/8 of a mile turf course. $1 million. 12 are entered in this mile run. Plenty of track into the first turn. Turns here are sharp and will favor the more athletic horses. 1 mile, $1 million at stake. The turns, like an automobile racetrack, are banked in the corners. It's interesting to note that the grass is 90% fescue. You guessed it, 10% Kentucky bluegrass. The course is just 3 years old, built so that Churchill Downs could attract this Breeders' Cup Day. And now for the mile run on the turf, a preview.
It's a World Championship mile here in Louisville today, and here's the defender, Miesk. Won the Breeders' Cup Mile at Hollywood a year ago, and since then has raced lightly, winning 2 of 3 in '88. Here's Miesk's arch rival, Warning. He's won 7 of 9 in his career. We're going to see him as he hooked up with Miesk at Deauville in France in August. And Guy Harwood brings this horse to America with another chance to win a Breeders' Cup stake.
Now, this race at Deauville makes you think that Miesk should be the logical winner. She's on the left, Warning in the center. They went very slow. It turned into a sprint, and at a sprint, if this turns into a sprint, she'll win. Look at this speed. When she stretches like that, she's unbeatable, and her connection thinks she'll win again. But Warning is only a 3-year-old. He's improving all the time. His last performance was at Ascot. It was a Group 1 race against Group 1 horses. It's uphill. Just look at the power of this little horse. Only a little one. I think he's improving so much, I think he'll beat her. These are the best 2-milers in the world. But shocks happen in racing. Mill Native paid $83 when he won the Arlington Million. He's now with Charlie Whittingham, and he could do it.
European riders don't like to rush out of the gate. American jocks do. Trainer John Paracel on this long shot, Simply Majestic, has the best gate rider in the country, Angel Cordero Jr.
Well, sometimes the best bets are the ones you don't make. Harvey Pack didn't lose in the last. He now has $73 and looks at the mile.
And we'll get your thoughts, Harvey, about this one.
I wouldn't have lost if I had bet. I don't take favorites. This race course, the turf course here, was designed by the same gentleman who did Woodbine, similar to the Woodbine course. So I'm going to go with a horse that ran well over the Woodbine course. We're going to go with Mill Native. 20 to win on Mill Native. What do I care?
A lot of sand underneath the grass here. Very firm. It's hard to believe with all the rain. I like Mill Native, too.
Well, the course condition is firm, and that is a bit surprising. And perhaps Bruff Scott can fill in the formula.
Yes, everyone thought this would be soft, if not heavy. We had an inch of rain, but it's on 14 inches of sand. And the more it rained, the more the sand underneath this actually packs down. I ran around it this morning and was amazed. You can actually bounce off it. It's officially firm now. You'll certainly ride fast, though it might be quite on the turn. On the turn, it'll be quite loose, and they'll be really motoring. Incidentally, Warning drawn on the outside, just one from the outside with Mies3 inside him. But Pat Edery, who rides Warning, said he didn't mind that because he'd always have the mare covered. But it'll be some sprint at the end.
Don't go away, Bruff. Don't go away. You are in the best position to give us some insights on these two. The horse and the filly here, Miesk, and Warning. We're going to make you pick one.
Well, I went for Warning in the pick, but the more I've looked at Miesk and the more I've seen her action again, she's got such brilliant speed, and she'll pull and run up to the turn. I think she might just pick him off, but I think this is the greatest certainty for an exacta we've ever seen.
Bruff, one thing that is really an unknown is the European horses racing over this turf course, which is rooted in the sand. I was talking to Pat Day before the races today, and he said some horses just feel like they're spinning their wheels when they run on it. It'll be an unknown factor.
And there are still 5 horses to go. 1A, Miesk, ridden by Freddie Head last year for the Breeders' Cup Mile Championship, trying to repeat. They're about set. Let's go to Tom Durkin.
The best miler in France, Miesk, squares off against the best miler in England in Warning. He's in the starting gate now. Miesk, the winner of this race last year at Hollywood Park in record time. An outstanding international field, one behind the gate. Master Christopher from the outside. He's moving into the starting gate now, and we're ready for the 5th Breeders' Cup Mile. They're in the gate. And they're off. Bet Twice breaks alertly. Steinlen was also out fast. Simply Majestic is hustled away, and Master Christopher now sprinting up from the outside to grab the early lead. It's Master Christopher now who goes on with it. Simply Majestic is gathered back in second. Mohammed Abdu is away well in third position. Steinlen is fourth toward the inside. Michelob Polo on the outside now running in 5th place, and Ravenella now 6th toward the rail, and she's hustled up. Blushing John is now racing in 7th. Miesk was 3 wide round the first turn. She's now 10 lengths off the lead. And then it is Mill Native, followed by Belmont Stakes winner Bet Twice. Warning has 1 horse beaten, and that is Posen. Warning is 15 lengths off the lead of a free-running Master Christopher. He leads by 3 lengths now, halfway through the Breeders' Cup Mile. Simply Majestic kept within striking distance second. Steinlen tucked nicely along the inside in third. Mohammed Abdu is now asked for running. There he goes. And Michelob Polo is moving with him. And Miesk is now moved within 4.5 lengths of the lead. It's a gap of 6 lengths to Ravenella and Warning, who's just beginning to get underway. They're coming to the top of the stretch now. Michelob Polo on the outside. Simply Majestic toward the rail. Those two are head-to-head. And here comes the French filly, Miesk. charging hard on the outside. Steinlen is now fourth, and now they're down to the final furlong. Miesk is charging hard to take the lead now. She's looking for back-to-back wins in the Breeders' Cup Mile, and she's leading by 3 and pouring it on, pulling away impressively here. Miesk has won it. Oh, Miesk, what a filly. And Freddie Head does it again. Absolutely sensational. He knew he had a tremendous filly underneath him. He wasn't concerned early, and she gunned down this international field in the stretch with an explosive stretch rally, and Warning really never got underway. He finished far back.
So Freddie Head aboard Miesk 1A, the 4-year-old Kentucky-bred filly. What a great miler she is. Becomes the first to win back-to-back in Breeders' Cup competition. 1987 by 3.5 lengths at Hollywood Park. Her only U.S. appearance at that time, acclaimed the top grass female of the year in 1987, the Eclipse Award. And she's back, and what a day for the ladies. Personal ensign and Miesk back-to-back, 2 brilliant runs. Freddie Head, can you compare the race by this filly today with her winning effort at Hollywood Park last year?
How was her effort today?
Oh, it was great. She's a real fantastic mare.
You're going to lose her after today, are you not? This is your last ride on Miesk.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're having trouble with our microphone out on the backside. Freddie Head. Now, it should be interesting to fans that aren't close to racing, Tom Hammond, how out of breath the jockeys are, the energy in a minute and a half, 2 minutes expended in these vigorous rides.
Just controlling these 1,000-pound animals going 35 or 40 miles an hour and pushing them to the finish does take great athletic efforts. Freddie Head, the Frenchman, triumphing once again on Miesk in the Breeders' Cup Mile.
Steinlen and Simply Majestic following.
It's new from Polaroid, the Impulse camera. Go where it takes you.
You got to go. Go with your impulse. You got to go. Go with your impulse.
Go with the new Polaroid Impulse camera.
You got to go. Oh, go with your impulse.
Ask every American the meaning of success, and you won't hear the same answer twice. Whatever your idea of succeeding, Citicorp and Citibank can help. With Citibank MasterCard and Visa cards, Citicorp Savings, Diners Club, and Citicorp Mortgage. We also serve millions of customers in every major marketplace worldwide. Citicorp, because Americans want to succeed, not just survive.
This is precious cargo. Telecommunications equipment on its way to Japan. On another day, it might be medical systems headed for Europe. We design and build that equipment. We're Siemens USA. 27,000 people, 47 manufacturing plants, and nearly $3 billion in sales and service of electronic and electrical equipment. And each year, 15% of that is worldwide exports from America. We are Siemens USA.
You know, everyone tells me what a beautiful car my Toyota Corolla is. True. But I tell them I got my '89 Corolla because I'm completely logical. I look for reliability and quality in a car. But between you and me, I fell in love with my Corolla the first time I laid eyes on it.
My Toyota, I love it. Toyota, who could ask for anything more?
Top dragsters burn up the tracks at the NHRA Winston Finals of Drag Racing. Red hot rod action on NBC Sports World.
Pat Edgerton was covered in mud and very disappointed, Pat. Any explanations?
Well, he couldn't get his grip. He just kept slipping all the way around. He just couldn't handle it. It was too much for him.
Once you obviously, you were, just to say the viewers, you were on warning. This Guy Harwood. Very disappointed. Guy Harwood there, obviously also very disappointed. He got the replay.
Miesk with another powerful run to take the Breeders' Cup Mile. Here she is. She will make her run on the outside, and she'll come clear into the stretch and will be pulling away through the stretch run on this mile course, and she has proven now 2 years in succession that she can handle the tight turns of American racing. The tight turns of the turf course at Hollywood Park, and today the tight turns here at Churchill Downs. Undoubtedly will be voted again the champion turf mare in the United States off one U.S. performance. Here she comes on the outside, running down Nicolo Polo. Look at the ease with which she takes the lead and blows by those two. And as they come to the wire, Freddie Head just keeping her mind on her business with a left-handed whip. And she draws away for an easy victory here. She is much the best of this mile field.
1:38.3. That's nearly 6 seconds slower than the run at Hollywood Park. Of course, this turf a slower course at Churchill Downs today, but a brilliant ride again.
A year ago, when Miask was a winner in California, Stavros Niacros couldn't be here. He's here from Switzerland to watch today. You must have enjoyed this.
Well, I enjoyed very much. I love the track here and the place, and I will come every year nowadays. From now on.
Your daughter is also with you. Harvey, she was here last year.
How come you showed up last year?
She takes care of all the racing.
All right.
She's the big boss.
You have about 50 in training now?
Exactly.
We're going to show you, and you can watch your charge in action here. We've got an isolated replay.
Wonderful.
What were your thoughts at the head of the stretch?
What do you think?
What are your thoughts at the head of the stretch?
Well, the head of what?
What were you thinking here?
Did you think she'd
win?
Well,
now, oh, God. Fourth. Fourth on the line, fourth. Now we're carrying on. We're coming up. We're coming up. And I think we're going to make it.
It looks pretty good right here, doesn't it?
Yeah, it looks very good.
At this point, we could have ridden
looking before, it was even better.
Where's she going, to breeding now?
Very much.
Is she going to the breeding shed?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll be looking for her get to win future Breeders' Cup.
Nice to have you.
Yes, a back-to-back
Well, I hope to see you next year again and win again.
Miesk, for the second successive year, is champion of the Breeders' Cup Mile. She paid $6, $3.60, and $3. Steinlen from the Wayne Lucas stable, a long shot, was second, 20, 20, and 860. Simply Majestic, 680 to show. The Exacta paid $138.80.
Well, she'll be writing her own book after retirement. And the first chapter of his book was written in 1964. Kentucky Derby winner and sire superior to be Northern Dancer. And what a story it was and is.
As the years go by and the world turns faster and we're all chasing changes, let it be. I won't mind, 'cause I know some things always stay the same, just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me.
Something as special as friendship deserves a special beer. That's why for over 100 years, friendships have been formed and kept over the quality beers of Anheuser-Busch.
Stand by me. Oh, stand.
It seems that some hefty users are a little rougher than others, so no wonder they put a super strong strap on the Hefty Cinch Sack. Hefty Cinch Sack. Don't let wimpy bags tie you in knots.
Wimpy, wimpy, wimpy.
Cinch Sack is a cinch to close, a cinch to lift, and a cinch to carry. So if you've got a hefty load to haul, get the sack with the hefty strap. Hefty Cinch Sack. The super strong super cinch.
For the thoroughbred, each day begins early. His purpose is winning. His preparation, critical. But the key to winning is teamwork. The thoroughbred and the jockey. The best team in sports. See the best team in sports at a track near you.
Welcome back, and the magic of historic Churchill Downs. On racing's richest day, we've just seen Miesk, the brilliant 4-year-old French filly, win for the second time a Breeders' Cup Mile after her Hollywood victory last year. And she now will be retired, sent to Claiborne Farms in the spring, and will be sired by Mr. Prospector. He's going to have some nice girlfriends next spring.
Big day
is he
for
not?
Mr. Prospector, also the sire of Gulch, who won the sprint today.
And Personal Lenson scheduled to go there as well.
That's right. Here is the official order of finish for the mile, with Muhammad Abdu finishing 5th and Posen 6th after we saw the first 3 a moment ago. One of the stories of the race, Warning, who went off as the 9-5 favorite, was eased, and perhaps, like Pat Day said, some of these horses feel like they're spinning their wheels on this sandy course. Maybe that was the case there.
That's the mayor of the city of Louisville, the Honorable Jerry Abramson, presenting the winner's trophy to one of the wealthiest men in the world, the Greek shipping magnate Stavros Niarchos. Louisville, Kentucky. The very words as they roll out of your mouth, unless you're a Louisville Cardinal basketball fan, just conjure up racing and Churchill Downs and the excitement of that first Saturday in May. It'll be the 115th running of the Derby in 1989, and perhaps one of the coats we're about to see in the Juvenile will be involved. The crowd estimated at over 70,000 fans here at Louisville today, and in their midst is Greg Lewis.
They came in limousines and luxury sedans, and only rainstorms stopped them from arriving in private helicopters. They were European royalty, American aristocracy, the titans of thoroughbred racing, 265 guests who already held a Breeders' Cup winning ticket, a coveted invitation to Mrs. Cornelius Vanderbilt Whitney's Thursday night gala at the legendary family farm in the heart of thoroughbred country, Lexington, Kentucky. For 3 generations, over 2 centuries, the Whitney name and their Eton blue and brown silks have been synonymous with racing excellence.
My husband has raised more stakes winners and bred them than any other living American, and I think that's quite a record. I mean, need I say more?
Guests toasted the Whitney legacy with champagne chilled in a silver bowl, won at the 1906 Belmont. But unlike Mary Lou Whitney's traditional theme gala held during the Saratoga season, this party was a first, celebrating the Breeders' Cup debut in Kentucky.
We're immensely pleased that the Breeders' Cup is in Kentucky. We're going to work hard to keep it here. Kentucky gave birth to the Breeders' Cup. Folks like John Gaines and others that promoted it. The Breeders' Cup belongs in Kentucky, and we're going to work hard to keep it here.
A sentiment no doubt echoed by Mrs. Whitney's guests, many more famous than the horses they will bet on, from commentator Walter Cronkite to comedian Tom Smothers, to Kentucky's former First Lady and Miss America, Phyllis George, and her husband, John Y. Brown.
Well, the party is continuing here on the 4th floor of the clubhouse. Mrs. Whitney, a great evening the other night. How is the day going for you here?
Well, we have a winning table. Almost all of my guests are winning, and really, it's just been a fabulous day for us.
Are you happy with the Breeders' Cup and the way? We don't have the best weather, but do you think Kentucky is pleased with the way the Breeders' Cup's going?
Oh, I think really it's excellent, and, well, the little weather doesn't bother any of us. We're having a wonderful time.
Very good. All right, Dick, let's go back to you.
Okay, Greg, thank you. Trainer Claude Shug McGahee is an old-fashioned Kentucky bred. This laid-back and modest 37-year-old native of the Bluegrass State has seen his personal ensign win a thriller today, and now McGahee has the favorite 2-year-old colt Easy Goer coming up in the Juvenile. He's been the right man in the right place, and I guess today is his time.
The 1940s were the glory days for Calumet Farms, a family-held stable whose domination was unmatched, with horses like Whirlaway and Citation winning Kentucky Derbies. But by the 60s, such stables were in decline as a major force in racing. But today, the Phipps stable, one of the few major family-held operations around, has achieved a modern miracle in thoroughbred racing. Let's compare this success to a college basketball team. The freshman class tries out, 5 of them will be All-Americans. With but 26 horses in the stable, 5 are racing here at the Breeders' Cup in the black and red silks of the Phipps stable. The man the Phipps family credits with much of their success is their trainer, Shug McGahee.
We try to breed the best stallions to the best mares. We try to feed them well. We try to give them all the tender, loving care. Shug has certainly had a lot to do with it. And his race record this year, his training record, has been phenomenal. I can't remember a training record like it.
Sugar's almost like a member of the Phipps family. In fact, he lives right on the Phipps estate.
The Phippses have been absolutely wonderful at trying to make Mary Jane and my family at home. We've got a very nice place to live. We participate with them in a lot of things.
This family man feeling separates him from other trainers. His responsibilities are exclusively to the Phipps horses. This is in complete contrast to trainer D. Wayne Lucas. His operation covers just about every major track in the country, more like a coast-to-coast conglomerate than a family business. In fact, Shug met his wife, Mary Jane, at a track in Kentucky, and they came to the Phipps stable as a package. Mary Jane is an exercise rider for the Phipps stable. Although Lexington is the breeding ground of great equestrian talent, the Phipps family lured him from the fields of Kentucky to the fast track life of New York. Although Shug resides a mere 20 minutes from Times Square, it's stretching it to call him a New Yorker.
It's fascinating in there. If I knew more about New York City, I'm sure that that I would enjoy it. I know there's a lot of wonderful places to go and a lot of wonderful places to eat, but it's amazing to watch all the people, the different things that are going on, and but I just don't know that much about it. I think the afternoon that I went in there, I went to 52nd Street, 7th Avenue, and came back on the Verrazano Bridge, which is probably about 50 miles out of the way.
Soon after their arrival in New York, a third member of the McGahey clan came along. At 2, Chip has already taken responsibilities for his horse Levi's in his own way. But as he gets older, no doubt his horses will be younger and faster. In the shadow of Wall Street, where big business rules the roost, the Phipps family puts their faith in a small family from Kentucky.
Shug McGahey, a native of Lexington, Kentucky, trained for many years on the Kentucky circuit here at Churchill Downs. This could be his biggest day ever. Already a win with Personal Ensign and the trainer of the favorite in the Juvenile coming up. In fact, here are the morning line odds for the $1 million Juvenile. And the Lucas trained Is It True is the third betting choice at 8-1, but the favorite will be Easy Gore, already mentioned among some of the greats of racing history. 2-5 on the morning line.
And each of those 10 colts carry hope for today, and already for them hope for the Kentucky Derby next spring. The power words in racing, and this 4-letter word defines so much of the future, and it's shared with winners and non-winners.
It's a Radio Shack Merry Christmas.
Roger out. We're all enjoying the Radio Shack Space Patrol walkie-talkies we got for Christmas. I use mine to keep in touch with my backyard explorers. The flexible antennas handle rugged play, and the kids love them because they can talk or send secret messages in Morse code. It's right on the front. Okay, kids, I'm finished. Oh!
Space Patrol walkie-talkies from $9.95, only at Radio Shack.
Just when you thought you knew everything about trucks, Toyota changes all the rules. Introducing the all-new Toyota trucks, redesigned for '89. More V6 4x4 power, all-new optional on-the-move four-wheel demand. And now, an available V6 4x2 for extra power when you need it. More inner space and comfort, and a new look that says one thing, Toyota quality.
Toyota, who could ask for anything more? It was awful.
Awful in the worst sense of the word. Blanche heard it.
Who heard it first?
Bert, you heard it first.
I heard it first. I was sitting right there.
Most awful sound you ever heard.
Amen.
It was more like a hissing sound
It
to
was
me.
a buzz.
Well, so be it, but I think it had hissing overtones.
Let's just say you could not describe it with the human mouth.
Say no more.
I'm thinking early retirement.
If your long distance sounds bad, call now and hear why 9 out of 10 business people prefer the sound quality of U.S. Sprint.
Being neutral, the Swiss enjoy the best of all worlds. Cars from Italy. Clothes from Paris. Shoes from England. And from America, Old Spice Liquid Stick, a new antiperspirant. With the smoothness of a roll-on and the speed of a stick, it also combines the best of all worlds for total protection. After all, nothing's more important to the Swiss than good relations. Old Spice Liquid Stick, the world's most advanced form of protection.
From Louisville, Kentucky, the 5th running of the Breeders' Cup is brought to you by your Toyota dealer. Whatever car or truck you choose, you'll love the quality. Who could ask for anything more? By Siemens, leading-edge technology that gives you an edge. DP, quality made in USA products that can help get you fit for life. And by Radio Shack, the technology store. Breeders' Cup Juvenile at 1 mile and a 16th. These are the Derby Colts of next year in the paddock. Sharon Smith.
We're following Easy Goer as he heads to the racetrack, and you can really see from this position, one thing, I can't keep up with him, but also why he is the horse he is. Look at the muscles on the hindquarters of this horse. He was a little difficult to saddle and put Pat Day aboard. I think it means that he just feels good. There he goes out onto the track. Easy Goer, the heavy favorite to be both the 2-year-old champion and the winner of this race.
They've reached the track. These 10 fine young colts, but no question about the heavy favorite, number 9, Easy Goer.
Let's take a look at the field now for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. Number 1 is Music Merci, a Canadian-bred horse who's raced exclusively in California, won the Grade 1 Del Mar Futurity. He bled while finishing 6th in the Norfolk Stakes, and today, for the first time, races on the anti-bleeding medication Lasix. 1A is Mountain Ghost, the other half of the Craig Lewis-trained entry. Goes to the post here despite a troubled 10th place finish in the Young America Stakes 9 days ago.
And here's the Wayne Lucas trained colt, Is It True? Lucas already with 2 firsts today and 3 seconds.
Is It True named that because he couldn't believe he got him for only $525,000. He was so grand looking. Lucas has scored, remember, wire-to-wire wins in the last 2 Breeders' Cup juveniles, Capote in '86, Success Express last year. Number 3 is Double Quick. Had the early lead but faded in his only try around 2 turns. Trainer Mel Studi, though, has had a pair of previous Breeders' Cup winners, Very Subtle and Brave Raj. Number 4 is My Hair is Red. Yes, his hair is red, or chestnut if you want to get technical, except for a few white hairs on his forehead. He's your Cinderella horse, a winner in all 4 starts, but raced in Washington and Montana. Moves up to the heavyweight division today. Number 5, Dr. Bazaar, an Ohio-bred who's never raced outside his native state. He won the Best of Ohio Stakes last weekend, the 2nd Breeders' Cup ride for Julie Crone. Number 6, Leading Prospect, has the most starts, 11 of any horse in the field, but has only 1 win, not exactly a leading prospect. Number 7, Tegel, Kentucky-bred. He's raced in France and is 2 for 2 there. He'll race on dirt for the first time today, though he has trained on it. Should like this distance. He's already been 1 mile and an 1/8. Number 8 is Into Bucks, a Florida-bred colt who comes into this race off a pair of fine 2-turn stakes performances at Calder. A slight foot infection earlier in the week has cleared up. He'll be ridden by Jose Santos, leading money-winning jockey of 1988. Number 9, is Easy Goer, who's already being compared to many racing greats. He was bred to be a champion. He's by Alidar from the champion mare Relaxing. He lost his first start by a nose after trouble at the gate, then reeled off 4 in a row with incredible times.
Sam, I saw you talking with Shug McGahee's wife, Mary Jane, a couple of days ago, and you were talking about Easy Goer.
She's his exercise rider. She says he's a bright horse. He likes to stop and eat on the way back from the track after morning exercise. And she said to take you to all his favorite restaurants on the way home.
Yeah, there are the current odds, and there's no question about the favorite of this big crowd at Churchill Downs at 1-5. Personal Lenson went off at 2-5 as She barely won and remained unbeaten 13 in a row. So looking ahead, the Derby Colts of next year, Easy Goer, much the favorite. We'll soon see how he performs.
A lot of funny things happen on the way to the White House. Join Tom Brokaw for a different look at Campaign 88. Is this any way to elect a president? Sunday.
Who will be the big winner on election night?
We'll have the latest returns and show how the results will affect you. So be sure to vote and watch your vote count on NBC News.
In home accidents last year, over 3 million people were disabled. 100,000 either suffered permanent disabilities or died. There is no second chance when help arrives too late. Should you ever suffer a bad fall or other emergency, prompt help can be as close as a tiny radio transmitter you wear around your neck or on your belt. When you're alone and can't get to the phone, it takes just a press of this button and seconds to alert the Life Call 24-hour manned monitoring center. Help is promptly on the way. There is no second chance when help arrives too late. The Life Call medical alert system can now be leased and is affordable to anyone. Get a free booklet and the vital facts on the Life Call push-button life-saving system.
Call 1-800-554-8600 for your free booklet. The call is free. 1-800-554-8600. That's 1-800-554-8600.
Yeah, this race does epitomize that word hope and promise. 10 two-year-old colts entered in the $1 Million Breeders' Cup Juvenile. Same course the 2-year-old Fillies took earlier. Remember, Open Mind, Gene Klein's filly won the Juvenile Fillies. 1 mile in the 16th. Easy Goer in the 9-hole. Not the best post going into a relatively quick first turn. Look at past performance. Here's Jay and Harvey.
In this juvenile, the question before the house is, can anyone beat Easy Goer? We doubt it. Easy Goer's the only multiple stakes winner in the field. His only loss was his first start when he was wiped out at the gate. We're going to take a look now at the Champagne, a mile at Belmont, 3 weeks ago.
Horses can lose. They're not machines. This will be his first time around 2 turns today. But what you're looking at is a horse that actually makes me speechless. He is a professional racehorse. He is awesome. Watch him along the inside now. Looks like just any other racehorse. He's about to come in under Pat Day. He's going to make the lead. But watch the way he does it. Watch the fluidity of his movement. This is what a racehorse is supposed to be. This is what Walter Brennan meant in the movie Kentucky when he said, this horse has the look of eagles. This horse has the stamp of greatness on him. He's the best 2-year-old we've seen since Devil's Bag. Now watch Pat Day. He's going to tap him lightly with the stick. May have hit him 1 time more than he had to. But this horse doesn't care. He's learning. His ears are back. Every race is an experience to him. He's probably going to be the favorite in the Kentucky Derby if he wins today. You may be looking at one of the greatest thoroughbreds in history.
Well, Harvey Pack may not be winning, but he's still talking. $20 on Mill Native in the mile turf. Mill Native went unplaced, and it's down to $53. But the real player, that's the way they like it, coming from behind.
And, Dick, 3 races to go for the Walter Brennan fan. What are your plans?
Humiliated in public again. Well, let me explain something about Easy Goer. I'm in love with Easy Goer, as I was with Personal Ensign. I cannot bet against this horse. I used to have a friend who loved the New York Knicks basketball team. Whenever he went to the games, he bet against them, so if they lost, he could go home with a few bucks in his pocket. I'm not that rotten. I will not bet. It's going to El Paso again.
There are the current odds, and we remind you, Harvey, that if you have anything left at the end of the day, you can't keep it, you know. It comes back over to NBC Sports.
They never told me that.
The current odds, the entry, Music Merci and Mountain Ghost at 7-1. Is it true? The Lucas trained Colt at 8-1, Double Quick at 40-1, and My Hair is Red. What a great name, 15-1. Dr. Bazaar at 22-1. Leading Prospect, an outsider at 50-1. Tegel, good support there for the European Colt at 8-1. Into Bucks 40-1, and Easy Goer now at 2-5.
And we've had a bit of a drama concerning the European entry, Tegel, because he got very upset when he was being saddled when they were putting the cross noseband on him. He has a little bit of an abscess in his mouth, which showed up this morning. He reared right over backwards and was so upset that trainer Francois Bouta has taken the cross noseband he wanted to use off the horse. If you look at his nose when you get closer to him, you'll find he has no noseband on. He's a talented horse, but it's very difficult for Europeans. First time on the dirt and first time, in fact, on the slop. But if he runs up to the possibilities, he might even come back here for the Kentucky Derby.
You know, Brock, the horse we're all looking at, of course, is Easy Goer, and it's hard to tell which horse is going to capture the public imagination, and Easy Goer certainly has. Performance is part of it, but also its appearance and personality. You know, I saw Easy Goer when he was 3 weeks old in a field at Claiborne Farm in Kentucky. It was this little red horse who zoomed up to the camera and said, "Take my picture," essentially. He got in the way. You know, I thought then that this little son of relaxing was going to be a good horse. He captures the imagination because he's got the looks, the personality, and boy, does he have the racing record.
The early speed in this race figures to come from the inside post positions, post position 1 and post position 2. These should provide the early speed. Is It True is in 1 and Double Quick is in 2. We'll all be watching, of course, for post position 9. That's Easy Goer. He should settle in just off that early lead as they work their way through the stretch for the first time.
Well-bred Easy Goer, the son of Alidar, gets his name from the dam side. Mother relaxing. Easy Goer, already being compared by the Eastern media to the Great Secretariat.
You know, he was foaled at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Most foals are born late at night, but perhaps that accounts for his exceptional ability, even though Shug McGahee, his trainer, didn't think he was the best of his 2-year-olds initially, but he has convinced him since, and Easy Goer certainly has a lot of reputation to live up to. So far he has.
How will he like the track, Tom?
Well, he has worked well on an off-race track. Mary Jane McGahee, who gallops him in the morning, says he should have no problems.
So these colts already Easy Goer, the odds-on favorite at 2 to 5, and the pre-Kentucky Derby favorite for next year. He's about to run. Here's Tom Durkin.
6 months from today, they will place the starting gate a furlong and a half up the track to start the 115th Kentucky Derby. And this 5th Breeders' Cup Juvenile will go a long way to determine the early favorite. Easy Goer now 2 to 5 in the gate. And they're off. Music Merci broke like a bullet, comes right out for the lead. Double Quick is going to run with him early now, and Double Quick is there. Is It True is hustled away from the gate as the field moves into the first turn. Is It True and Double Quick down. Those two run at each other early. It's 2 lengths. My Hair's Red saving ground on the inside third. Music Merci is alongside fourth by 2. Into Bucks came away in 5th position, and then his leading prospect, who's in hand, racing in 6th. Easy Goer has settled in 7th place now. He's about 8 lengths off the lead as they make their way onto the backstretch. The trailers are European Tegel, Dr. Bazaar toward the inside, and the early trailer is Mountain Ghost as they continue up the backstretch. Is It True on the inside with heavy pressure from Double Quick. Those two moving at a demanding pace as they continue up the backstretch. Maher's Red is trying to stay with those two in third. Leading prospect now has asked for more run toward the inside. And Music Merci now is putting in his run as the field moves into the far turn. Then it's into Bucks. And now Easy Goer is starting to find his stride. Tegel is alongside him. Those two are now 7 lengths off the lead of Is It True, who has turned back the early challenge of Double Quick. But on the outside, the Californian Music Merci now looms boldly in second. And Easy Goer now continues the gain for the back of the pack. 6 lengths off the lead as the field turns for home. Tegel is floated outside him. They're set down for the drive. Is It True? Full out now to hold up Music Merci. And Easy Goer looms boldly now, a threatening presence on the outside. They're in the final furlong. Is It True? Pink Eye all over him. Easy Goer closing on the outside, a 16th from home. Is It True? Trying to hold on. Easy Goer can't get to him. It is It True who goes on to win it by a length. Easy Goer is defeated, and farther back it was Tegel. Pin Kai went to that strong whip, his trademark in the stretch, and got Is It True home to win the 5th Breeders' Cup Juvenile.
Well, our first major upset of this Breeders' Cup day, and when you look up Breeders' Cup trainer in the dictionary, he's going to have that man's face. Wayne Lucas has done it again. The hat trick for Lucas. 3 wins, and he's got 3 seconds, and with a Gene Klein-owned Is It True, a Kentucky bred, raced only 5 times with just 1 win prior to today, but what a win it is. Upsetting Easy Goer.
Here you go.
Lafitte Pinkai. Is it true? Did you think you had that much of a horse?
Did you have that much horse? did you think you had that much horse?
Well, they were coming at the end, but he was trying, you know. He was getting a little tired too, but he was trying.
Easy Goer, did you have any idea how close the favorite was?
What I say?
Did you know how close Easy Goer was?
No, I know he was coming.
The designer silks that have become a popular item here of late, do you really believe they make a difference?
Well, it might. They put it good. They probably caught the wind pretty good, and it may be because a lot of the horses are doing good.
Lafitte Pinkai getting Is It True out of the gate quickly and holding off the charge of Easy Goer. And Gene Klein and Wayne Lucas celebrate again.
The 1989 Toyota Camry. Quality you can trust.
You can't help but love a car you can depend on.
My Toyota, I love it. Who could ask for anything more?
I'm Jim Wilson. When my horse Winslow was hurt, we thought he would never be fit to race again. Then we started exercising him on a treadmill. It worked so well, I got a DP treadmill. It's a good one. I know, because I bought the company and brought the ownership back to America. So my horse is fit to race again. And now, it's my turn.
DP products get you fit for life.
DP.
Performance. For some people, it's more than a passion. It's a way of life. Well, for all those people for whom good enough just isn't good enough, there's Speed Stick Antiperspirant. Nothing is wider. Nothing glides on drier. Nothing protects you against wetness and odor in a bigger way. All-day performance that's hard to beat. If you're going to give 110%, your antiperspirant should give 110% too. Speed Stick, the wide stick.
Now available in Sport Talc.
5 minutes.
Attenzione! Tanto per cominciare, sapete che abbiamo più di 10.000 uffici in tutto il mondo?
Learning how to talk fast is one way to save on international calls.
In French, Mr. Duffy. Ah, bonjour, JVN, comment allez-vous, J. German, Mr. Baldwin.
Hallo, mir geht es gut. Wie geht es Ihnen? Ich möchte Ihnen gerne wichtige Ansagen über das Zeugnisfirma machen, wie das über 10.000 Büros in allen Teilen der Welt unterhalten. Wussten Sie zum Beispiel, dass über 10.000 Büros in
Now,
allen Teilen
there's a better way to save with U.S. Sprint's International Long Distance Sale. Save as much as 10 to 34% if you call now and switch to Sprint.
America's favorite pastime returns to NBC as the nation's top rollers battle it out for Bowler of the Year honors. Join Jay Randolph and Hall of Famer Earl Anthony for the PBA Fall Tour next Saturday on NBC.
Is it true? And Lafitte Pinkai, who has won this race, the Juvenile for Colts aboard Capote and Success Express in the Breeders' Cup, and again, wire to wire, Pinkai finds a way, and maybe it was one back at the starting gate.
That's true, Dick. At the start, Easy Goer was shuffled back. Look at Easy Goer. He'll be in post position number 9, and at the break, watch Mountain Ghost, who is just to his outside, come in on him, and at the same time into Bucks just to the inside. They'll squeeze Easy Goer back just a little bit. Mountain Ghost on the outside really comes over on him right there. He's pinched back, and the net result is, as they go to the first turn, he's further back than he probably wanted to be.
And you can see the winner getting out on the rail. Pinkai quickly taking the lead as they came by the grandstand the first time.
Is it true? Indeed it is. This horse bred by Warner L. Jones Jr., the chairman of the board of Churchill Downs, and here you are again, Gene Klein.
Well, it's such a pleasure to be here. We're just delighted. Horse ran a super race and beat one of the great 2-year-old colts of the country.
A nose away from a sweep.
A nose away from a sweep, but the filly ran a big race. But these races are sensational today, and That's what racing is all about. We've got a great racing card.
We're not making any excuses for Easy Goer. Your horse just held him off.
Yeah, I think he did a super job. Here he is. He's just coming down. And he's a very gutty horse, and he's improved with every race.
And Wayne Lucas is here. What were your thoughts at this point?
I thought he was going to finish pretty well. I thought he had a shot here. Easy Goer's coming, and I'm apprehensive at this point. But right here, they were getting into both horses pretty good, and it didn't look like he was going to make it up. And at Churchill, it seems like the wire never gets there, though.
It is pretty far down.
When this horse crossed the finish line, I saw you. It looked like you were trying to dunk a basketball.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is exciting because, you know, these are the threes of next year, and to win here at Churchill Downs and get this one out of the way is wonderful.
Well, you win this race every year, though. We're tired of that. I want to ask you one thing.
We're not.
The Roger Barber, proudest Roman, don't you think that helps on this racetrack?
Yeah, but on my scoring system, this horse was an 8 out of a score of possible 10, Harvey, and anytime there were 8, they got something going for them.
Let me show you the monitor. We've got a picture of you coming up here. Here's Lucas. Look. And is it 2 points? You bet it is.
I don't want to lose my hat. It might rain here yet.
I have a feeling you'll wear that hat often.
I'll tell you what, this might be the most satisfying one, Gene, ever.
Ooh, just incredible.
Yeah, thank you.
Wayne, and my hat's off to you. Congratulations. That's 3 for you and 2 seconds today, and you're going in the big one, too.
Good luck all around. Way to go.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Now, the former owner of the San Diego Chargers, Gene Klein, who spent a lot of money in thoroughbred racing and gets another payback on Is It True? 20-40 to win, 360 and 280. Easy Goer, odds-on favorite, pays 240 to place, 220 to show, 320 for the European Invader Tegel, exacta 41-40. It is true. Klein and Lucas have combined again. Railbirds understand you can win by a nose, but Peb suggests you can lose by a tail. Oh, my.
Will your new car outlive your new car loan? Give your engine extra protection and help keep your car running like new longer with STP's new Supra Wear Control, so you'll have something to show for your investment down the road.
You just got a frequent flyer award, huh? That's right. You don't fly frequently. No, infrequently. How can you be a frequent flyer if you don't fly frequently? How can I hit the ball if you're talking to me? How can you hit the ball if you're going to be talking over there?
On Northwest, you don't have to fly a lot to earn a free trip fast.
Hey, Slugger, what's happening?
I'm out of here, Dad, and I'm going as far as $3 and 42 cents will take me.
Northwest has some of the lowest fares around, but not that low.
Want to take better pictures? Get the new Canon EOS 750, the only autofocus SLR with a flash like this and a system with computers and motors in every lens. Here, try it. Try the zoom. Easy, right? Well, that's EOS.
New Canon EOS 750. Photography, pure and simple. Buy EOS today with no money down, low monthly payments at participating Canon dealers. Hero, a new cologne for men.
Sunday, the NFL plays here when the Dolphins battle the Patriots.
Before your team takes the field, our team hits the air. NFL Live.
Yeah, we've just seen a preview of next year's Kentucky Derby. The top 2-year-old colts contesting at 1 1/16, and the Breeders' Cup Juvenile winner. Is It True? The first big surprise of this Breeders' Cup racing day. And the trophy presentation has just been completed. And the Honorable Wallace G. Wilkinson, the governor of the Commonwealth of Kentucky, presenting the Breeders' Cup trophy, handsome trophy it is, to owner Gene Klein. As Gene Klein says, Tom Hammond, and they don't ask for a raise when they get back to the barn or better oats.
They would be today, wouldn't they? The way they've been running for the 3rd straight year. A Lucas horse goes wire to wire in the Juvenile, as you see the complete order of finish for the horses in that 1 1/16 race, many of whom we'll see back on this track at the first Saturday in May, Derby time next year. My hair is red, losing for the first time out of Montana and Washington State. The Cinderella story there turned into a pumpkin.
Racing, as it is in all sports, is in search of new ways to improve performance, and in that quest, no one knows what man may find. And today, a look at what may be ahead as we move toward the 21st century.
One of the enduring images of the Seoul Olympics was Florence Griffith Joyner, remembered as much for her wind-efficient, form-fitting outfits as for her gold medals. In fact, the aerodynamic athletic suit is now the norm for all speed events. No more baggy outfits. Except in horse racing, where the most recent innovation for jockeys was the high stirrup, monkey-on-a-stick riding style originated at the turn of the century. That is until now, as aeroform racing silks make their debut in the Breeders' Cup. Designed by this woman, New York sculptor and racehorse owner Rhonda Allen.
I was observing how the skiers and other sports all seem to have aerodynamic attire. And at the same time, I was watching replays of horses that we would have win and sometimes lose. And at certain times, depending on the wind direction, the entire top part of the silks would blow up with air. And I had thought, well, perhaps that this would be an effect. You know, at first I talked to a few people and asked their opinion. It was a mixed result, but I thought, well, I just felt very strongly that it might really make a difference.
Allen returned to the art world for 4 years, the new silks idea on the back burner, until she met New York University physics professor Richard Brandt. Unless you're Flojo, they don't always flatter your figure. But according to Dr. Brandt, his tests prove the form-fitting silks could make the difference between winning and losing.
Originally, I was quite surprised at the magnitude of the results because I figured with a heavy 1,000-pound horse, what difference did the little flapping of the silk make? But in fact, the computer analysis showed that a horse with a jockey wearing the streamlined silk would gain about 1 inch every second. So in a mile race, you would be ahead about 8 feet of the horse with the jockey wearing a conventional silk. To make the jockey wearing the new silks equivalent to the old one, he would have to carry behind him an umbrella like this one, just this size, dragged behind him for the whole race. It's just a crazy thing to do, and for that reason, I'm confident that more and more jockeys will be wearing these new silks.
The silks make sense to some trainers like Wayne Lucas, but not everyone is convinced.
And I can see this horrible-looking mess going to the post with all these jockeys with these leotards on. And
Do you know about the rain weight, how they're waterproof?
No, I don't, but I really don't care. As long as everybody uses the same thing, it's even, so why change it, you know?
Well, there are skeptics, but the modernistic silks have been worn by Pinkai and Cordero today, and they represent winners in 3 of the 5 Breeders' Cup races. Okay, from silks to sod, like football and track and field, playing surfaces change. How about the thoroughbreds in the future? Will they be running on something other than grass or dirt? Well, in Oklahoma City, they already are. A special thoroughbred racing surface that we may be seeing more of.
For centuries, horses have played a major role in Oklahoma's history. They're making history here again at Oklahoma City's new $93 million Remington Park. They call it Equitrack. It's pay dirt. And this new surface may well revolutionize thoroughbred horse racing around the world. Actually, Equitrack is everyday Oklahoma sand. Its secret? Every grain is coated with plastic. They call it a polymer binder. The treatment makes the soil sponge-like. It doesn't get muddy, freeze, or even blow away.
We originally set out to mimic the best qualities of an ideal dirt track, but to make that weather-resistant. And of course, the key element in that is to make it behave in the same way, regardless of water content.
A torrential downpour provided Equitrack its first real test on the second day of racing at Remington Park, and the jockeys climbed off their horses with smiles on their faces.
3 parts of a length.
When it rains on the track, it's great. It's unbelievable. There's nothing flies but water. 1 pair of goggles is all you're going to need if it's pouring down rain.
Less than a month later, Equitrack made the record books again. Silver Icon tied the world's record for 6.5 furlongs, the time 1:13 and 3.
I believe it's the greatest surface that you can race horses over today. Equitrack is consistent and is not cuppy, and horses get a good hold of it and they run fast.
We're having a sensational meet. We have to be pleased, but I think it's got to be the answer. I would say in the next 5 years, half the tracks in the Midwest will have it.
Equitrack does have its critics. Some jockeys and trainers are complaining that the track is inconsistent and that it is deeper and slower in the mornings than in the afternoon. But Remington Park personnel say time will correct that as Equitrack goes through a curing process. Equitrack's just out of the starting gate, and while there are a few disparaging words on the backside, you won't hear any complaints at the betting windows. Race fans say this one-of-a-kind track is paying off in a big way.
After the first 5 weeks, we had 37% winning favorites and 70% favorites in the money, and that's in itself is hard to imagine at a racetrack in a new market, but even at a good racetrack, that's a good sign. So to me, that tells us that the horses are running truer to form.
And Harvey, you heard what Mr. Vance said about the way things have gone betting-wise. What are your thoughts?
Well, I admit it's the wave of the future. Maybe on a day like this, it would have been a nice thing to have. But I don't want 37 or 47% favorites. It'll be like track meets. You didn't see many upsets there. We need variance. We need changes in racetracks. And I like to see the mud at the end.
Well, on a day like today, Jack Van Berg, who really likes Equitrack, might like to have it here for Ali Sheba. Let's get some thoughts now from the gentleman from England. Bruff Scott, you know something about this surface.
Yes, Jay, we have this surface, indeed several others rather similar in Britain. They're being used a lot in training, and we think they're a great breakthrough. And personally, looking at the sloppy track, you go through to a very hard surface underneath, I think there'll be a major breakthrough for American horses and for American racing. And I'll tell you something else. I'll bet any of you $1,000 that by the end of the 90s, there won't be an ordinary American dirt surface left amongst the big tracks.
Well, the next race, Bruff, will be on the turf course, so we won't worry about it. It's the 1.5 mile Breeders' Cup turf. The purse is $2 million. This has been the closest of any of the Breeders' Cup races over the past 4 years. The 4 turf races decided by a total of 1.25 lengths. The European entry, Indian Skimmer and Sarhoob, 3-1, second choice on the morning line. The Sunshine Forever was the 5-2 favorite. Infamy, the third choice at 9-2.
Well, one of this year's top Colts was Risen Star, winner of the Preakness in Belmont, and Risen Star is not forgotten in Louisville today. Greg Lewis.
Thank you, Dick. I'm with Ronnie Lamarck, a co-owner of Risen Star. Of course, he won the Preakness and he won the Belmont, but because of an injury, he's been retired and is conspicuously missing here in the Classic, but not really missing in Louisville because there are billboards of him all over town. And what is that all about?
Well, it's because, you know, Risen Star is a great animal, and he won 2 legs at a Triple Crown, or should I say 2 jewels. We should have had the Triple Crown with the Kentucky Derby, and it means 2:26 and 2. The billboard says the time is right. I'm not going to let anybody forget Risen Star. He's America's horse. He's a people's choice. He won 2 legs at a Triple Crown. He beat 49er 2 out of 3 times. 49er did not show up for the Belmont, and there's no way in the world I can ever vote for a horse who didn't win the Belmont like Risen Star, 1.5 miles.
We're talking voting. We're talking the Eclipse Award. 49ers here, though, and Risen Star isn't. So the campaign is to remind everybody and to keep him in contention for the Eclipse Award?
Absolutely. 3-year-old champ. Risen Star is a 3-year-old champ.
Okay, well, we thank you. We've got to go back to racing.
Thank you.
And I hope Risen Star does well when he goes to breeding. All right, let's go back to Dick.
Well, Risen Star denied all-time greatness by that injury, but certainly one of the outstanding thoroughbred stories of this year. As it is for the greats in all sport, the elites in thoroughbred racing derive power and success from an inner intensity, a quality we've watched today that drives these magnificent 1,000-pound thoroughbreds to race not just well, but for some, best of all.
How can you not fall in love with something that looks so good? My Celica still gets my blood pumping.
The 1989 Toyota Celica GTS. Looks to seduce you. Powerful 135 horsepower engine to thrill you. No matter what you do for a living.
Some people are so silly. Ouch. They make this big deal about Kellogg's Frosted Flakes being just for kids. Well, look at me. I'm an adult. I eat them. Heck, I love them. Frosted Flakes just for kids? Come on. Like we adults have to go sneaking around. Like we can't enjoy these sweet, crunchy flakes just as much as kids.
Daddy, are you eating our Frosted Flakes again?
Oops. There now, you can't deny it. Frosted Flakes have the taste adults have grown to love. They're great.
The Jockey and the Thoroughbred. They race to win. And the key to winning is teamwork. The Thoroughbred and the Jockey. The best team in sports. See the best team in sports at a track near you.
Breeders' Cup Day in the Bluegrass State. The Commonwealth of Kentucky and Louisville's historic Churchill Downs. And next, the $2 million turf race at 1.5 miles. But before we go to the paddock area, and we have the post-parade, Ted Bassett, who is the president of Breeders' Cup Limited, joined with NBC Sports President Arthur Watson a couple of days ago with some grand news.
The Breeders' Cup is deeply appreciative of NBC's vote of confidence because it now assures this event of a status of a national major event, and the whole thoroughbred racing industry is most appreciative of you and NBC.
Well, they re-signed the contract to NBC and the Breeders' Cup through what year?
1994. It's a 5-year extension, which sends a very positive message throughout our entire industry.
Well, Mr. Bassett, if the next 5 years are as glorious as these first 5, those who love thoroughbred racing are in for continued treats each November.
We're looking forward to it, and we anticipate it being so.
Ted Bassett, the president of Breeders' Cup Limited. Let's go to Sharon Smith.
Well, we're in the paddock right now. The horses are going out to the track at this moment from the saddling for the Breeders' Cup turf. It's been a pretty quiet paddock. Several foreign horses aren't used to perhaps being quite so close to fans here. They've all gone out well. Indian Skimmer looks surprisingly good. We've heard all week that she was a little thin and hadn't been eating well. Well, she looked fine. Triptych, the well-traveled mare, number 8, who just is stepping out of the paddock, is looking very good as well. You notice the riders for Triptych and Milesius are wearing the skin-tight silks, and if there weren't any believers before today, there are right now. So let's keep our eye on those riders, Lafitte Pinpai and Chris Antley, wearing those tight silks. Now it's just about time for the post parade, so let's go out to the track.
And they're called to the track. And the fans here at Churchill Downs getting their first look in the grandstand area at these 11 contestants for the Breeders' Cup Turf, our first $2 million race today. $900,000 to the winner.
And number 1 is Indian Skimmer, the first Breeders' Cup horse for England's top trainer, Henry Cecil. She likes soft turf. In fact, has never run on anything but. At her best, she's very good and comes off 2 straight Group 1 wins at 1.25 miles. Number 1A is Saroob Sheikh Mohammed Al Maktoum of Dubai, a member of the royal family that has changed the face of thoroughbred racing the last few years, owns Indian Skimmer and part of this horse, so they run as an entry. This horse a Group 1 winner in France, but 12th in the Arc de Triomphe last month, ridden by American expatriate Cash Asmussen. Number 2, Undercut, was just scratched a few moments ago. Number 3 is Great Communicator, who had traffic problems in this race last year, beat only 2 horses, but he is a Grade 1 winner in 1988 and has been in the money 8 of 9 starts, figured to show speed today.
Sunshine forever on this great day, a leading candidate for Turf Horse of the Year.
We haven't seen much sunshine this afternoon, but he is a ray of sunshine. He's won 8 of 11 over $1.5 million this year. In his last race, the Budweiser International, he appeared hopelessly beaten a 16th of a mile from home, but somehow found the courage to come back and win by a neck. The question today is, though, how much did that race 2 weeks ago take out of him? Number 5, El Senor, has 5 wins, was second to infamy in his last start. Named for Hall of Fame trainer Senor Horatio Luro, who trained Northern Dancer. El Senor's trainer William Wright is Luro's grandson. Number 6, Frankly Perfect, sired by former grass champion Perot. He was 14th in the Arc de Triomphe, then second, beaten the neck by Sunshine Forever in the Budweiser International. Number 7 is Infamy.
And here's a horse, Tom. Isn't this the one that has personality from head to tail?
Indeed, she swishes her tail like a windmill during a race. She comes off an impressive win in the Grade 1 Rothmans International in Canada, though most of her races had been in Europe. Number 8 is Triptych. Triptych making the 41st and final start of her career. They call her the Iron Lady. She'll be bred to Mr. Prospector in the spring, a 3-time champion. She's the leading money earner in European history, $2.4 million, has won 14 races in 4 countries, purchased earlier this year by Peter Brandt for $3.4 million. Number 9, Milesius, named for a mythical Irish figure who flew through the sky with his chariot. This horse comes from way back, but hasn't won in top company. And number 10, completing the field for the Breeders' Cup Turf, will be St. Andrews. St. Andrews, a Group 1 winner in France, who prepped for this race at Évray in his last start.
And the red and white candy stripe silks. And here are the current odds.
Money showing on the European entry.
Even money.
Yeah.
Undercut Scratch, Great Communicator, 12-1. Sunshine Forever, 2-1. El Senor, 40-1 for this turf race. $2 million, sponsored by Budweiser. Frankly Perfect, 23-1. Infamy with some support, 11-1. Triptych, a surprising price there at 13-1. And Milesius and St. Andrews.
You have a plan? Who carried out these executions?
He's still out there, isn't he? He can have me killed! His name!
The relentless search for a killer. Christopher Reeve, Judd Hirsch. Tomorrow, The Great Escape 2, The Untold Story.
In home accidents last year, over 3 million people were disabled. 100,000 either suffered permanent disabilities or died. There is no second chance when help arrives too late. Should you ever suffer a bad fall or other emergency, prompt help can be as close as a tiny radio transmitter you wear around your neck or on your belt. When you're alone and can't get to the phone, it takes just a press of this button and seconds to alert the Life Call 24-hour manned monitoring center. Help is promptly on the way. There is no second chance when help arrives too late. The Life Call medical alert system can now be leased and is affordable to anyone. Get a free booklet and the vital facts on the Life Call push-button life-saving system.
Call 1-800-554-8600 for your free booklet. The call is free. 1-800-554-8600. That's 1-800-554-8600.
The 6th race of the Breeders' Cup, the Breeders' Cup Turf, is brought to you by Budweiser Beechwood Age for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. The Breeders' Cup Turf, the day's longest race, contested at the classic European distance of 1.5 miles, starting midway on the backstretch and passing the grandstand twice. By the way, the turf condition changed now from firm to good. European horses are not accustomed to the left-hand turns. There are 3 of them involved here, yet foreign horses expected to be a major factor again.
For the turf, the ladies have come across the water. Triptych has won 9 Grade 1 events, raced all over the world, Europe's all-time leading money winner.
Infamy has been a traveler too. She won the Rothmans at Woodbine 2 weeks ago. She's in Kentucky today, and she's been back home in between. Indian Skimmer comes back to the land of her birth, and she's made herself a real queen in Europe. She is the most talented runner at her distance around. Look at her in the Dubai Champion Stakes at Newmarket in England last month. This time, she really showed the power and class. She's up against top horses, and she's devoured them. But, and it's a very big but, she's going over 1.5 miles for the first time today. She's on much faster ground than that soft ground at Newmarket, and it's very tight bends. At Newmarket, it was 1.25 miles dead straight. It'll be very different, but South African champion Michael Roberts rides, and he thinks she'll win.
But the one to beat is the American. It's Sunshine Forever, a 3-year-old colt trained by John Beach from the Darby Dan farm. He's won Grade 1 after Grade 1. He's an impressive youngster. And now you're going to see something you almost never see in horse racing. You'll see 3 horses coming down the stretch together. The one in the middle is Sunshine Forever. He's going to be beaten. Horses come back when they're beaten, but not when they're between horses. This takes remarkable courage, remarkable skill. Jockey Cordero is asking him for more. He's coming back again. You'll see him going away at the finish, going away to be the one to beat in the Breeders' Cup Turf.
Well, Harvey Pack, our Railbird Raconteur, laid off his favorite, Easy Goer, did not bet in the last race, so saved money and still has $53 to spend.
What are you going to do with this money?
I wish I had laid off all the races. I will not stop. Sunshine Forever, that coming from the middle of horses is very impressive. He didn't like Woodbine, and you know what I said, this is a similar turf course, but I really want John Beach to get it with this horse. He deserves it. He'll be my main wager. But there's a saver. You see, I'm going with him, but Infamy won over Woodbine, and the same stupidity that put me on the other horse that won at Woodbine is putting me on Infamy. So we'll go with a $10 saver on Infamy.
All right, now I want you to check your tickets. 31 winners in the pick 6 this afternoon at better than $15,000 a pop.
Infamy. We talked about this Irish-bred filly that likes to swish her tail.
Normally that's an indication that a horse is tiring and stopping, or there's something they don't like, but she does it all the time. It's a good sign when she runs. Maybe it gives her a little extra boost, kind of like a jet engine.
Well, the situation here as the horses come through is a great speculation as to how much of a grip the European horses will get on it, because it was very noticeable what Pat Henry said after warning, is he just didn't get a grip on the tight turns, and then the horse just didn't fire. And that, as they come through, has to be the danger. Was looking for Indian Skimmer, because the Indian Skimmer, her last race you saw 1 1/4 miles straight. Well, she and the other Europeans have these shoes, ordinary racing plate, but they have, as you have in America, not in England, a toe grab there to try and bite into this loose topsoil on the sandy, this hard sand that's underneath it. It's quite hard underneath, but it's a loose on the top, and there are 6 turns for this 1.5 miles, and I think it'll be tough for the Skimmer, and it may be that Infamy, who's there she is swishing her tail just away from me, Infamy, who isn't nearly as good as Indian Skimmer, but the real attacking mare. I think it might be Infamy's day, but if Indian Skimmer turns it on, you'll see some real power.
Bruff Scott, you have watched Infamy race in Great Britain. We talk about the athletic horses and those that are built to make their way more cleverly around the tight turns. Mies certainly showed us that she's quite an athletic filly. How about the Indian Skimmer and Infamy Triptych? Which might be the best athlete?
Well, I think Infamy really is probably, she's already gone round the turns in Canada. Triptych is a funny old thing. You see her just going in now. She does her own thing, really. You have to leave her alone. Indian Skimmer, well, I don't think she will turn very well myself. I hope I'm proved wrong. The thing about Mies, because she pulled hard, so she went round the turns. In Indian Skimmer, she has a rubber bridle. She doesn't really pull normally. But jockey Michael Roberts told me this morning that he thought she would turn. We'll see who turns out to be correct.
Indian Skimmer was blindfolded there, Dick, as she was led into the starting gate.
All right, let's go to Tom Durkin for the call.
The stretch run of last year's Breeders' Cup Turf was unforgettable when America's Best Theatrical took on the European ARC winner Trempolino head-to-head. This year, America's Best is Sunshine Forever, and he takes on an impressive and formidable contingent of European runners, including Indian Skimmer. Now, there is one horse behind the starting gate. That is Sarhu. And just as he did before the start of the Arc de Triomphe, he was balking at the starting gate. There are 6 assistant starters trying to load Sarhub into the gate, and now he's in. We're ready for the start of the 5th Breeders' Cup Turf. They're off. Great Communicator broke right in stride now, and he's out to take the early lead. Sunshine Forever also came away in good order, and he's right there. Indian Skimmer is out fast now. She's 4 wide heading for the turn. Triptych is up close early and toward the inside. Infamy is nestled nicely in 5th place. El Senor is just 3.5 lengths off the early lead. Frankly Perfect is now to his inside. Then it is Malicious, followed by St. Andrews, and Sarhub is the trailer. A tight pack now as they round the first turn. Great Communicator is prompted by Sunshine Forever. Triptych just off them on the outside, 3 wide as they move toward the top of the stretch. Infamy is nestled in behind them, and Indian Skipper, the Roan filly, is just alongside her. Frankly Perfect is saving ground throughout. El Senor is moving comfortably in the middle of the pack. Now they pass by us for the first time. It is still Great Communicator. Ray Seville trying to nurse that speed. Sunshine Forever is under a snug hold. Triptych is now up close early and edging closer to Great Communicator. A comfortable pace here. El Senor surprisingly close. Frankly Perfect is right there. Infamy is just in behind Horses. And Indian Skimmer now is drafting in behind Horses as they move into the second turn. Then it's St. Andrews, Malicious, and Sarhub. A tight pack. The pace is slow. The first quarter, 25-2. The half in 51-3, 3/4 in 17-2, and now Ray Seville asking Great Communicator for run. They're trying to shake loose from Sunshine Forever, who looms a threatening menace just off his flank on the outside. Triptych is right there, still close, running in third position. Frankly Perfect, a perfect trip so far. He's right there toward the inside. El Senor is within striking distance. Indian Skimmer is just 5 lengths off the lead now, with a half-mile to run in the Breeders' Cup Turf. Great Communicator now. Asperani's there by 3/4 of a length. Sunshine Forever, a powerful presence. He's right at his neck. And there he goes. Sunshine Forever now on the outside. Great Communicator fighting back. And the filly kicks in. Triptych is moving right with her. Indian Skipper with a 4-wide sweep now as they come to the quarter pole. Triptych now. Indian Skimmer on the outside. Those two set down for the drive. Sunshine Forever, and he's not through yet. Great Communicator. The 4 of them across the track in a dramatic confrontation. Great Communicator, Indian Skimmer, Sunshine Forever, roaring back in between them. Great Communicator, unyielding. Sunshine Forever, determined. Great Communicator. Great Communicator will not be denied. Sunshine Forever was second, and Indian Skimmer was third. What a dramatic stretch drive. The Breeders' Cup Turf does it again. Fireworks in the stretch on the grass today. Great Communicator and a great ride by Ray Seville.
Great Communicator answering her disappointing, or his disappointing 12th place finish last year in the Breeders' Cup Turf to capture the 1988 $2 million Budweiser Turf Race. Another dramatic finish.
There's Great Communicator on the rail, holding off Sunshine Forever between Horses, the filly Indian Skimmer on the outside. Another dramatic finish, what we've come to expect in the Breeders' Cup Turf. Great Communicator winning his 5th graded stakes on the turf this year, a $42,000 Keeneland September yearling. He's just won the biggest race of his career.
Well, late developer, didn't win the first stakes until a 5-year-old. This gelding, trained by Thad Ackle, 40 starts, just 9 wins, and with $900,000 in capturing this Budweiser 1.5 miles on the turf. Great Communicator, yes, sent out the message today here in Louisville, Kentucky at Churchill Downs, the winner of another brilliant race.
They come from all over the world to compete for the Budweiser Breeders' Cup in one of horse racing's most prestigious events, the Breeders' Cup Turf. Witness the excitement as the world's best thoroughbreds compete for the Budweiser Breeders' Cup and a $2 million purse. Budweiser, the king of beers, is proud to sponsor this exciting event, and you can see it all today on NBC as the Breeders' Cup races come to you live from Churchill Downs. Horse racing fans, this Bud's for you.
The new Remington Electroblade vibrating blade system has been an amazing success for those who prefer shaving with a blade. Electroblade's high-speed motor and vibrating twin blades glide so easily, you'll get the closest, smoothest, most comfortable blade shave you've ever imagined. If you don't, I'll give you your money back. Safe, immersible, and cordless. The new Remington Electroblade vibrating blade system. A blade shave like you've never imagined, or your money back.
Oh, look at me back in the 60s, working up a sweat. Oh, and that's how I used to pump iron. Not today. Today we're exercising more and eating less red meat. But red meat is a great source of iron.
Only Kellogg's Bran Flakes has high fiber and 100% of the iron recommended today.
So now I pump a little iron outside and inside. You know, I haven't felt this good since I burned that bathing suit.
Kellogg's Bran Flakes.
Steve, here, listen up. I'll bet their big man doesn't make the game. He took his car in for service this afternoon.
He'll never make it.
Great, yeah.
I bet he walks in that door.
How'd you know?
He owns a Toyota.
Quality dealer service, just one aspect of the Toyota Touch.
So the longest shot of the day, 12-1. Great communicator. The late developer, a $42,000 bargain as a Keeneland yearling purchase. Delivers today the message, champion of the Budweiser Breeders' Cup Turf.
And this horse owned by the Ackles and the DeFrance gang down in Louisiana. And here's the man that trains him too, Thad. And Ray Sebille's an old friend of yours. What a combination today.
Yes, he is. I can't tell you what a thrill this is. It's a dream come true. I want to thank the Lord and also to thank my dad. He was very instrumental in getting this horse here today.
Well, you certainly had him in great shape. He did a magnificent job over those last 30 yards.
Well, thank you very much. We got here early, and I was able to spend quite a bit of time here at Churchill preparing him, and I have a lot of friends here, and they were all very helpful. I want to thank all of the Breeder Cup people and the Churchill Downs staff. This has just been a great place to have the Breeders' Cup, and I hope it can return.
A special time, of course, for you because your dad loved this horse so much.
Oh, he did. He was a politician and, of course, you know, great communicator. Sure tells the story on that.
Well, Harvey,
Thad, I was really impressed by this because we knew he'd make the lead, but at the top of the stretch, did you think he could hold up? I thought the foreign horse was going to bury him.
I tell you, I was very, very pleased with his position. This horse has more courage and fight in him than actual ability, and I hope that they see it fit to name him Eclipse Award Turf Horse.
Well, he certainly had a big leg on it. He may not, but he did well, and I think you're the hero of your family. Would that be true?
That's great.
Yeah.
I can say one thing, too. My brother's done a fine job with my father passing away. It's been real tough on us.
Well, I can tell it's an emotional time for you.
The only thing that's bittersweet is that Daddy's not here to share.
He's here. He's here.
He's here.
Well,
He's here.
and here it is. Let's look at this finish one more time,
He had all
Thad.
the confidence in Thad.
And this is my partner, Mr. and Mrs. Dufresne.
Right, and there are tears all around, and look at this. Handled the turns very well.
Yes, I'd asked Ray to keep him about 6 to 7 feet off the fence because I saw in the mile that it seemed to maybe slow down the pace just a little bit, and he followed the instructions just superbly, and he fits this horse just remarkably well. He's been a big part of the success in '88 with him.
Ray really, really worked him here.
Oh, he sure did. Ray's a top rider, and I tell you, I can't tell you how much he's meant to have him ride my horse this year.
A great day for Louisiana.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Cajun country.
Yes, sir.
Indian Skimmer, the gray horse in the maroon and white silks, was really in trouble throughout this race. I thought she was rank, unable to be held back by jockey Michael Roberts. She was 4 wide into the first turn, and Roberts appears unable to hold her back to get her to relax, to settle in stride. And as they went through the stretch for the first time, she was buffeted around, bumped up. It looked like Roberts had to hold her to keep her from running up on the heels of other horses. And then as they turned for home, she had to come 4 wide. The fact that she was still able to finish third in the race really is a tribute to her because she took all the worst of it during the running of this 1.5 miles. The critical part of this occurred through the stretch for the first time. She is the gray horse in the maroon and white silks in the center of your picture. And look at this. It looks like she wants to run up on the heels of the other horses. She's buffeted, bumped around a little bit, going in where she doesn't want to be. Jockey Michael Roberts trying to strangle her back there. Then at the top of the stretch, the final time, look how wide she is. She took all the worst of it and still managed to finish third.
I'd like to make a comment about Ray Sebille, a top rider, but riding in the shadow of all those greats out on the West Coast at Santa Anita and Hollywood Park. This has to be the greatest win of his career. Ray Sebille, a Cajun, celebrates aboard great communicator. And that will be a delightful return for those who backed great communicator 2680. Bruff?
And here is jockey Michael Roberts. We've seen the fairly unlucky run you had. How did it go on the turns?
Well, you know, it was very tight on the turns. You know, they were just pushing it around a bit on the turns, but they actually went a bit slow for us, and she was just taking a bit of a tug, which didn't help me either, you know. But coming the straight, I thought I had a big chance of winning. And she hit the front for about a couple of strides, and then, you know, she had enough.
First time a mile and a half, was it too far?
I would say, you know, racing like that on that softish ground, definitely a bit too far, yes.
A great run, Michael. Thank you.
Thank you.
Payoffs, great communicator. $26.80 for a $2 win bet. $6.60 and $3.60 Sunshine Forever. $3.40 to place and $2.40 to show. An Indian skimmer part of the entry, $2.60 to show. The exacta, $78 plus.
Got a nice minty taste to it. That's good. Can you say that about your liquid antacid? If not, taste new Tums Liquid.
It has a nice taste to it. It's delicious. Tums tastes the best.
New Tums Liquid. It works, and it really tastes good.
Last year, half of our sales were of products that didn't even exist 5 years ago, like our pacemaker that changes speed to meet demands on the heart. We're Siemens USA, leaders in medical engineering, telecommunications, energy, automation, and electronics, with 23 research and development centers coast to coast, helping to build a stronger, more productive America. We are Siemens USA.
The 1989 Toyota Camry. Comfort. Room. Toyota quality. One more thing for 89. Camry has room with a great view.
A sheer extravagance.
It would look better in my living room.
Top dragsters burn up the tracks at the NHRA Winston Finals of Drag Racing. Red hot rod action on NBC Sports World. It's a happy bunch of Cajuns that are on hand here after this one. $2 million richer. Here's Michael Rorty, the Executive Vice President of Anheuser-Busch, to present the Breeders' Cup Trophy to the Ackers and the DuFrance family.
Congratulations on behalf of Budweiser, the Breeders' Cup, and the state of Kentucky on bringing home a winner today. Many, many happy returns with that very heavy trophy.
And right here, of course, we have the Budweiser trophy that is emblematic of this race, and it goes, of course, to the chairman of the Jockey Club, United States, Denny Phipps.
Congratulations, Denny. We're happy once again to give it to our home country, the United
We're very
States.
proud to have it here, Mike, and thank you very much for sponsoring the race.
We're happy to do
What
it.
a wonderful race, and thanks again to Budweiser for being such a great patron of the turf.
And here's the complete order of finish in the turf. Great communicator and Sunshine Forever probably will battle one more time for champion turf male honors at the end of the year. Triptych in her final race finishing 4th, with Infamy bringing up the rear in the turf race.
That tail was swishing nevertheless. Well, you're native born and raised here in Kentucky, and I know you folks have great pride in this sport and your relationship with it.
Unless you've been to Kentucky, you really don't understand that horse racing and horse breeding is part of the social fabric of the state.
Well, let's go back historically. Why is it that it's Kentucky and Louisville, and why is thoroughbred racing? Why is this the cradle, the birthplace? Here's Tom.
If you've spent any time around thoroughbreds, if you've even just been to the races, you know about the horse and Kentucky. The two have been linked for over a century. And today, when you can raise a good horse anywhere, Kentucky continues to be the source of the world's best thoroughbreds. Some people will tell you Kentucky dominates the thoroughbred industry because a majority of the leading sires and top mares, the equine parents, are here. Others will tell you it's because Kentucky has more natural resources. But maybe it's because Kentucky's people just cared enough to manage those resources more cautiously. It's true the breed originated in England, descended from Arabian stock. But when the English settlers pressed westward from Virginia, they found that the rugged mountains of Appalachia gave way to a rolling plateau. It was covered with a lush carpet of grass that gave off a bluish tint, fed by water filtered through limestone and rich with calcium and phosphorus necessary to build strong bones. Horses thrived here. Horse races sprang up almost before settlements as a recreation pursued by the gentleman farmers. From challenging neighbors to race their horses through town, these sportsmen began in the late 1700s to import blooded stock from Virginia and later England. The stallion Boston, brought to Kentucky in 1846, began the thoroughbred dynasty of the Bluegrass State. And in the Civil War, Kentucky breds were highly prized by both sides. The legend had begun. This is the old Woodburn Mansion. It was here at this farm in the late 19th century that a horse lived who solidified Kentucky's hold on the thoroughbred industry. His name was Lexington, named for the town about 15 miles away. He led the American sire list for an unprecedented 16 straight years. Leading sires have been coming to Kentucky ever since. Lexington was so revered that when he died, his bones were taken to the Smithsonian Institution and put on display there for many years. The modern era began with Domino. A foal of 1891, Domino was the first outstanding American sprinter. In the 1920s and 30s, many of the sport's most prominent owners founded breeding farms in central Kentucky. Farms like Calumet, Claiborne, Green Tree, Idlehour, and Elmendorf. Many still turning out champions today, along with more recent establishments like Spendthrift and Gainesway. Kentucky's position as the center of the thoroughbred industry was enhanced by legends like Man o' War, Bull Lee, Nashua, and Bold Ruler, who took up residence in the stallion barns of the Bluegrass at the conclusion of their racing careers. Kentucky is universally recognized as the center of the thoroughbred world. In 1984, Queen Elizabeth of England chose Keeneland to make her only visit to a racetrack in the United States and to see the sales pavilion where so many great champions were sold. Through this ring have passed 11 Kentucky Derby winners, including Ali Sheba and Winning Colors, 6 Irish Derby winners, and 4 English Derby winners. Foreigners not only come to Kentucky for the sales, but to be an important part of the thoroughbred community. In the past few years, spectacular breeding farms, some owned by Arab sheikhs, have taken their place alongside Kentucky's historical equine nurseries. It's not only the natural resources, it's not only the great farms and facilities. As the horse people like to say, it's in the bloodlines of the animals and the bloodlines of the people of Kentucky who have devoted their lives to these magnificent creatures. That's what makes Kentucky the horse capital of the world.
And the $3 million Classic coming up, and 8 of the 9 starters are Kentucky breds. No lights at Churchill Downs, so they'll be racing in the November dusk of a cool, damp day, exciting day it has been.
And here's the way the betting will begin for the $3 million Breeders' Cup Classic. The 3-year-old 49er, hoping to be champion of that division, is 7-2 as the wagering begins. And the favorite, looking to be perhaps horse of the year, Ali Sheba at 6-5.
5 out of the 6 winners today, Kentucky breds. We've examined key words in racing, words that conjure up images of what the thoroughbred represents: intensity, hope, beauty, preparation, solitude.
Gotta go. It's running late. Bye. I love it. My Toyota. I love it. Woo! I love it. Hey, Lee, what happened? You get lost? Kinda. Toyota quality. Who could ask for anything more?
Just when you thought you knew which battery was best for your car, along comes this dynamo, the Megatron 34 from Interstate. The runaway leader in every performance test by America's leading consumer products rating service, with cranking power that ran circles around better-known brands and reserve energy that left others stranded. Megatron 34 from Interstate. A bit of a show-off, perhaps. But then, it did test best. Ask for it.
This is a brand new $18,000 car. Put in a leading motor oil. This is an identical new car. Put in Mobil 1. Start them up and drive. Under extreme conditions, temperatures inside your engine can reach 570 degrees. Of course, Mobil 1 costs more, but then under extreme conditions, look at what can happen to conventional motor oil. Mobil 1. Isn't your car worth the extra protection?
Second in this year's Kentucky Derby, 49er, currently third choice at 7-2, will be ridden by the dynamic 25-year-old Julie Crone, the first female to ride in the Breeders' Cup. She's part of history, but with over 1,400 wins, is much more proud of the fact she's fourth in the U.S. She's a real-life edition of the old romance between girl and horse, and the girl who goes out and beats the boys in a race. And it all began at Churchill Downs. Her mother, an advanced dressage rider, took Julie to the track at age 14, lied about her age, and Julie began galloping horses and living her dreams.
That's the first place, Churchill Downs. I was galloping horses for Clarence Picou. And I was going down the stretch, and it was the first horse I ever galloped. And he was talking to me, and he's going... And I started reciting Stevie Cawthon and Affirm coming down the stretch. And I was like, I know the book by heart, the kid, and I was like rehancing it in my brain, and I was thinking about the stretch drive, you know, and I was like, and the guy, he says I started picking up speed, and Clarence Picou says, slow that horse down, you know. And I was looking up at the beautiful top of Churchill Downs and stuff, and I was like, I was just living a dream. And now it's just come true tenfold, riding the Breeders' Cup. It's unbelievable.
Owners' dreams begin with plans for the breeding shed. Julie thinks that her love for horses and riding began before birth.
My mother rode with me when she was pregnant, as in walking and trotting and things, not anything intense. She said I was meant to be. You know, they teach children things in the womb now and stuff. My mom and I believe in that. Just from the very beginning, it was precision riding, dressage, and things like that. And she taught me everything about horses. I knew all the parts about a horse when I was 9. I was allowed to be in love with ponies and in love with animals and stuff. It was almost like it was all meant to be to put me on the racetrack.
Julie is 25, yet she possesses the freshness and joyful spirit and hopes of the young kids that admire her.
Children, to me, are like just spectacular. There's just something about them, and it's very exciting. And to me, it's nothing but flattering when people find me attractive or think, you know, or little kids go, wow, you're really great. And it's hard because it's me, and I have to remember in the back of my head the first time I met Willie Shoemaker, or if I could have ever met Stevie Cawthon when I was in school and he was a hero on TV. I have to keep that in my mind, that I'm to those people what they were to me. And, you know, Shoemaker, when I met him the first time, he was just out of this world. Just took all the time with me and paid attention, and I was, like, so happy. And it just, like, made my life. It was unbelievable.
And earlier this year at Canterbury, a duel at the Downs, Julie on the rail in a match race, beating her idol.
To ride a match race with him and to be considered like that, it was just, the whole day was just I'll never forget. It was like something. In fact, I took his goggles. I made him sign them, too. I have his goggles in my trunk.
Petite and perky and 100 pounds, but don't be fooled. Julie Crone is steely tough, ignoring the inherent dangers of her sport.
When I ride, I never think about it, ever. You know, it's the kind of thing we're animals. They're animals, and they're here with you, and the next day they're not, and that's how life is, and that's how things happen. I live and die by this decision that I make every day, and that's what I do. I don't ever second guess it. When I'm out there on the track, I have no fear, and I just ride, and that's all I do.
And no one is more interested in the outcome of this next race than Julie Crone's mother, Judy Crone. When this all started here at Churchill Downs 9 years ago, when you falsified her age, did you ever imagine it would come to this?
Well, Harvey Pack said a few things about a horse called Easy Goer in the last segment, a few segments ago. And really, I've kind of been in awe of Julie all her life and her abilities, and I thought that maybe something like this could be a possibility, or I never would have done it.
A big ride coming up on 49er. Did she say anything to you before this race day?
Not really, because we haven't had much chance to talk, because you guys have been taking up all our time.
Well, then let's go down and watch her ride. All right? Dick?
What a proud mother. And as Julie has been riding in New York, she waves after every race, letting her mother know watching in Florida that she's with her.
Here's the post parade now for the classic Personal Flag, who is a brother to Personal Ensign. He defeated Wacoit in the Grade 1 Suburban back in July. Always close, though I don't think he's going to like this off track. The other half of the entry, 1A, is Seeking the Gold. He's a 3-year-old, worse than second only once in his career when he was 7th here in the Derby. He's lost twice by a nose to 49er, whom he grew up with at Claiborne Farm. Number 2 is Wacoit, Dick.
Yeah, this Cinderella, the glass slipper, might just fit for this New Englander.
He is named for a small town on Cape Cod, the first New England-based horse to have won over $1 million, trained by 70-year-old Guido Federico and owned by his cousin Joseph, who put up $360,000 to make him a supplemental entry. He has speed. He loves the slot. Number 3, Slew City Slew, another speed horse, the first Wayne Lucas entry in the Classic. Pushed Ali Sheba to a neck in the Meadowlands Cup 3 weeks ago. Lafitte Pinkai picked up the mount here after he was taken off 49er for failing to cross a New York picket line. And look who will be right next door, 49er. Bidding to edge Risen Star as champion 3-year-old. 49er is a picture of courage and consistency. The only time he was worse than second in 12 starts was in the Preakness when he engaged Winning Colors in a speed duel. He's won 4 races by a nose. He'll be retiring this year. Number 5, Lively One, a late-running 3-year-old colt who tried to give Charlie Whittingham back-to-back Classic wins. He hasn't won since July.
Well, Ali Sheba, the favorite for Horse of the Year, coming to Churchill Downs today, but with Personal Ensign winning again, Ali Sheba almost has to win.
I agree. He probably has to win to be Horse of the Year, but he knows how to win here. One of his greatest moments here at Churchill Downs in the Derby, when he recovered from a bump that nearly knocked him to his knees to win the race. He's won 6 of 8 this year, set a track record in each of his last 2 outings, and a win here would make him racing's all-time leading money winner. Sloppy track, not his best surface, though. Cutlass Reality is the 7-horse. He's also a supplemental entry. Cost $360,000 to get him in. After a single victory in 1987, he's now won 6 of his last 7 races at 4 different tracks. And number 8, Crypto Clearance, 5th in last year's Classic. He dances every dance, usually gets a piece of the purse with a strong closing kick.
And let's look at how the wagers see this race. Personal Flag and Seeking the Goal at 5-1. Wacoit bet down to 5-2. Slew City Slew at 16-1. 49er 7-2. The third choice. Lively One a long shot. Ali Sheba the favorite 8-5. Cutlass Reality a big price at 15-1. And Crypto Clearance 19-1. They'll be running for $3 million.
Tonight, 2 sergeants. 227's twice as spicy.
That sounds good.
Then an amen wedding.
I'm asking her to become my wife.
And how far will the Golden Girls go for a laugh?
Rose, are we anywhere near St. Olaf?
And Blanche is after Harry.
I am on fire.
Could be a bladder infection.
A Golden Girl on Empty Nest.
Tonight.
This is Sizzler's all-you-can-eat salad bar. This is the build-your-own tostada bar we added to Sizzler's salad bar. And this is the hot pasta bar we added to the build-your-own tostada bar that we added to Sizzler's salad bar. Now, what more could we possibly do to improve a feast like this? Add dinner. Presenting Sizzler's new steak and salad bar dinner. A freshly cut sirloin steak that comes with all of the above for the price below. Sizzler, a fresh experience.
Recreational Factory Warehouse, now the nation's largest spa manufacturer, sets industry records with the introduction of the Penthouse, a complete portable spa system for just $9.95. But records are made to be broken. Meet the challengers. Key West, $14.95. Palm Springs, $18.95. Monterey, $24.95. You'd pay $1,000 to $3,000 more for these spas sold through dealers, but we're the factory. That's why nobody beats our price, quality, selection, or terms. Recreational Factory Warehouse in Norcross, Marietta, and Jonesboro.
The 7th race of the Breeders' Cup, the Breeders' Cup $3 Million Classic, is brought to you by Mobil Corporation and Mobil One Synthetic Motor Oil, the proud sponsor of the Breeders' Cup Classic. Now, wait a minute. Is this a Hollywood script or what? You come down to the $3 million race. Horse of the Year honors at stake. It's in the darkness with no lights at Churchill Downs, and then it snows. It's snowing in Louisville in the darkness. Here's a recap of the day when it was a bit brighter. The sprint was won by Gulch and Angel Cordero. The Fillies, Wayne Lucas again, and Cordero again. 1, 2, 3, Open Mind. Another great ride by Cordero, Darby Shuffle, and Leah Lucinda, the Distaff, truly great race. Personal Ensign retires, winning 13 of 13. And Miesk in the mile repeats her win of last year in the Breeders' Cup Mile. The Colts, and looking ahead to the Derby, Pinkai aboard. Is It True? Certainly was today. And we've just seen the turf at 1.5 miles, and Great Communicator, a $26.80 payoff. The upset winner, wire-to-wire under Ray Seville. Now the $3 million Classic, going the American Classic distance, 1.25 miles, same as the Kentucky Derby. The field of 8 will break out of a chute at the head of the home stretch. Plenty of time to sort things out before the clubhouse turn. Key is to be on or close to the lead before the final turn for home. This is the 15-round championship fight, the Olympics 1,500 meters. Here's a preview.
49er has won $1,800,000 this year. First or second in 11 of 12. Woody Stevens has this horse ready. He lost the Derby to Winning Colors by a neck in May. Seeking the Goal, 7th in the Kentucky Derby. And what a battle in the Travers at Saratoga. 1.25 miles, 49er, and Seeking the Goal.
With Risen Star retired, these are our best 3-year-olds, and they are very good. That's 49er along the inside. Here comes Seeking the Goal. He's going to catch him. Looks like he's going to blow by. But watch 49er dig in. A horse with heart, courage, a true racehorse. And there's Wacoit, the pride of New England. His colorful trainer, Guido Federico, bringing him down here. He likes mud, he likes the lead, and the thing he likes most is horse racing.
And Ali Sheba loves to win. Ali Sheba likes this racetrack. Won the Derby here in '87. Let's go back to the Woodward at Belmont in mid-September. Ali Sheba with Chris McCarron up, winning his 3rd Grade 1 in succession.
This is what Breeders' Cup was made for. Ali Sheba returning as a 4-year-old. The Derby winner at Churchill last year, he's back. He's going to prove himself. Jockey Chris McCarron does everything right. Wacoit tries to steal an easy lead, but Chris moves his horse closer. He's going to catch them. One of the things about Ali Sheba, he doesn't like to win by 10, and that's why 3 of the horses you see in your picture will be in the Classic today.
Well, Harvey was close in the last one. He had Sunshine Forever, finished 2nd. Well, he's down to $28, and the question now is, are we having fun yet?
Well, Dick, I can tell you this. Yesterday, packed like Great Communicator, and you talked yourself off of it, or somebody did.
Do the same thing with fake money that you do with real money. You tout. I really did I did hit the exacta, but that's on my own.
Here's your last chance.
I'm ready to go. Considering the available light, I'm looking for a dark horse. So I'm going to go with $20 to win, hoping that Mr. McGahee can pull it out with this entry, and $8 to win on the pride of New England, Wacoit, and then I'm tapped.
All right, well, Dick, I happen to like Personal Ensign. It should be a dandy.
In the Gloman, a couple of dark horse choices for Harvey Pack. Well, that's a familiar sight, but not quite under these circumstances. The head of the stretch, where they start the Kentucky Derby. But it's not the bright sunshine of a May afternoon. It's the darkness of a late November Saturday. Now, the darkness, how does it affect the race, Tom Hammond? Is it troublesome more to spectators than horses?
I think only the spectators suffer. The horses are used to coming out in darkness. They're on the track at daybreak or before in the mornings. I don't think it'll disturb the horses or the jockeys. Maybe uncomfortable for the fans, but no danger to the horses. The big question here is Ali Sheba. Can he handle an off-track? The last time he raced on an off-track, the Travers at Saratoga last summer, he didn't run a good race. $1,350,000 to the winner would make Ali Sheba the winningest horse of all time.
He would pass John Henry up near the $7 million mark. Well, last year denied by a nose, Ali Sheba. Let's see about 88. Let's go to Tom Durkin.
The day to crown champions. Now time for the jewel in the crown, the $3 million Breeders' Cup Classic, and they're off. Slew City Slew breaks alertly, and 49er is moving right with him. Wacoit is out for the early lead now, and Cutlass Reality on the outside. Ali Sheba's come out 5th. And as they pass beneath the Twin Spires for the first time, it's the gray New Englander Wacoit with a short lead. Slew City Slew is running right with them early. They're moving at a lively pace now. They've opened up 5 lengths on Cutlass Reality 3rd. Ali Sheba is off the rail racing 4th. Then farther back, 49er has been taken back in 5th position. And the 2 Phipps color bearers are running together, seeking the golden personal flag. Then a gap of 4 lengths back to Crypto Clarence, who's allowed to settle in an early gallop. And Lively One trails the Classic field as they make their way into the backstretch. Wacoit pressed all the way by City Slew. Those two continue as a speed duel continues on down the backstretch. Cutlass Reality is 5 lengths off them in third. It's another 4 to Ali Sheba now, who is 8 lengths off the lead. And just to his inside, 49er now. Julie Crone asking him for run. A half-mile out, and now the field moving for the far turn. It is Walk White now beginning to shake loose from City Slew. Cutlass Reality is moving in closer third. Ali Sheba begins to roll now. He's making his move as they round the far turn. And then Personal Flag and Seeking the Gold are both moving together now as they come to the top of the stretch. Crypto Clarence is kicking in now, and he's moving into contention. He's just 5 lengths off the lead. Then it's Lively One. 49er is now the trailer as the field comes to the top of the stretch. It is Cutlass Reality and Walk White. Ali Sheba set down for the drive. Personal Flag is moving through an opening toward the rail. Seeking the Gold on the outside. They're coming to the final furlong. Walk White is tenacious. Ali Sheba is right there. And on the outside, Seeking the Gold. Ali Sheba with a short lead. He's unyielding. Seeking the Gold. A final move as they come to the wire. And Ali Sheba, America's horse, has done it. Ali Sheba returns to the site of his greatest victory, and he does it here again at Churchill Downs. Ali Sheba wins the world's richest horse race, and he's now the world's richest horse.
Chris McCarron and Ali Sheba, the winning combination of the Derby a year ago, and barely beaten by Shoemaker and Ferdinand in this classic race at Hollywood Park a year ago in the darkness in Louisville, Kentucky's Churchill Downs, win the $3 million Classic.
Ali Sheba working his way up steadily here into the stretch is 4th on the outside. Chris McCarron has him set to the outside and lets him roll. He'll go in front of Walk White, but then will have to put off the challenge of the 3-year-old Seeking the Gold, who's out in the middle of the track. He'll come right to Ali Sheba. Chris McCarron gets into him left-handed, and Ali Sheba, as we've seen him do so often, finds that extra burst of energy and pulls away again, putting away Seeking the Gold to become Thoroughbred Racing's all-time leading money winner.
Chris, how can you compare the run by Ali Sheba today with any of the other great races you've been aboard him?
Oh, this is the best horse by far I've ever ridden. There's no question about it. It's difficult for him to impress people because he never wins by very far, but he always has a lot left. Thanks, Junior. He always has a lot left, and he's just content to win by half a length.
Chris, how about the darkness itself? Did it ever bother you?
It didn't bother me any because he went under the lights at Meadowlands last time, so he's a good night horse, too.
And the track itself, was that a concern going out?
It was a concern to me, yes, because we've scratched him a couple times because of mud, and he's never breezed well in the mud, so it was a concern to me. But this track is in fantastic shape for the amount of water that they've received. I want to commend the track superintendent here. They've done a fantastic job.
Well, congratulations to Chris McCarron, Ali Sheba, and Personal Ensign, the two horses that came here today, the great Ali Sheba and the filly Personal Ensign, both answer with dramatic victory. Jack Van Berg, the trainer, part of the winning combination. He waits.
I really can't stay.
But baby, it's cold outside.
I gotta go away.
But baby, it's cold outside.
At 35 degrees below zero, this is conventional motor oil. But Mobil 1 still flows freely to protect vital engine parts faster.
I simply must go.
The answer is no.
Baby, it's cold outside.
Get Mobil 1 and beat the cold.
I'm talking cold.
I'm Jim Wilson. When my horse Winslow was hurt, we thought he would never be fit to race again. Then we started exercising him on a treadmill. It worked so well, I got a DP treadmill. It's a good one. I know, because I bought the company and brought the ownership back to America. So my horse is fit to race again. And now, it's my turn.
DP products get you fit for life.
DP. Staying on top is not easy. You have to give 110%. Speed Stick deodorant gives 110%. Why? It has no alcohol to evaporate. Its protection lasts all day. Glides on dry in just a few strokes. That's 110% protection.
Speed Stick Deodorant, the wide stick.
That's your edge.
By Menon.
Lots of men have sensitive skin irritated by shaving. Aftershave skin conditioner is clinically proven relief. Sensible care for sensitive skin. After.
By Menon.
Birdie.
Like all the great athletes, they win no matter what the conditions. Ali Sheba is the Breeders' Cup Classic champion here at Churchill Downs. The unofficial results: Seeking the Gold, a gallant second. Waquoit, the Cinderella horse, is third, and Julie Crone aboard 49er finished fourth.
And with me now is Dorothy and Pam Scarborough. And Miss Scarborough, your dad, of course, Fred Turner, had Tommy Lee win here in '59, but this is very special.
Yes, it is. It's unbelievable to me. This horse amazes me every time he runs, and this has just been spectacular.
The world's richest horse.
Right.
Pam, how do you feel?
Oh, it was amazing. We didn't even know until the very end. We all just completely lost control.
Were you worried about the track condition?
I was, yes.
A little bit.
Well, it's a great day for the Scarborough.
It certainly is.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Right.
Here it is again, Tom.
Here's a replay now, and Ali Sheba broke right in the middle of the pack and was set in good position early by Chris McCarron. Right in the middle of the pack as they went through the stretch for the first time, this long stretch, 1.25 miles. They go through it twice, and here he's running easily off the rail a little bit. Sometimes on a muddy and track, the going down along the rail is pretty heavy, so Chris McCarron has elected to take him a little wide as they head into the first turn. He knew that Waquoit would set the early fractions, and right now Chris McCarron changing his goggles. The jockeys wear several pairs of goggles on an off track and change them during the course of the race. And Ali Sheba just running along easily here with 49er right behind him. And by this time, Chris McCarron has probably decided that his colt is handling the surface of the track pretty well, which had been a concern of his. And now he's thinking tactics. When will he want to make his move? 49er with Julie Crone inches up a little bit on him on the inside here, but McCarron is still content to race away from the rail. 49er now goes in front of Ali Sheba. McCarron doesn't panic. Harvey Pack, he's still got plenty of horse left.
All right, I was thinking at this point, he was eating up this track we thought he wouldn't like. And once he can handle this track, he's just a great horse. I'm happy to point out that Waquoit was supplemented, got the money back. I think 10% would do it, wouldn't it, Tom?
He would indeed. He will get the $360,000 back and then some as Waquoit shows the way to the top of this stretch at Churchill Downs, the gray horse on the inside. But right now, Chris McCarron and Ali Sheba swing 3 wide, and he's got them measured right now. McCarron with the hand ride still out on the center of the track where the going is a little better. Hits him once right-handed, then gets into him a couple of times, and now he knows he's got Waquoit. Here comes Seeking the Gold on the outside, and McCarron goes to work left-handed. And right here, Ali Sheba with that extra burst we talked about. Hand ride to the wire by McCarron. Ali Sheba has done it.
In almost an eerie setting, dramatic. It was. Ali Sheba, it's official now, $5 to win, $360 and $260, Seeking the Gold, $480 to place and $320 to show. And Waquoit, really a wonderful story, one of many that we've enjoyed today. Purchased for $15,000, comes back to the Breeders' Cup Classic and tells a good story too.
You can do better than that. 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 I'm just going to tell him. You can do better than that. You can do better than that.
When the time comes to trade in an old Toyota on a new one, people are amazed at their Toyota's resale value.
I can't do better than that.
My Toyota.
I love it.
Who could ask for anything more?
Oh, look at me back in the 60s, working up a sweat. Oh, and that's how I used to pump iron. Not today. Today we're exercising more and eating less red meat. But red meat is a great source of iron.
Only Kellogg's Bran Flakes has high fiber and 100% of the iron recommended today.
So now, I pump a little iron outside and inside. You know, I haven't felt this good since I burned that bathing suit.
Kellogg's Bran Flakes.
It was awful.
Awful in the worst sense of the word. Blanche heard it.
Who heard it first?
Bert, you heard it first.
I heard it first. I was sitting right there.
Most awful sound you ever heard.
Amen.
It was more like a hissing sound
It
to
was
me.
a buzz.
Well, so be it, but I think it had hissing overtones.
Let's just say you could not describe it with the human mouth.
Say no more.
I'm thinking early retirement.
If your long distance sounds bad, call now and hear why 9 out of 10 business people prefer the sound quality of U.S. Sprint.
America's favorite pastime returns to NBC as the nation's top rollers battle it out for Bowler of the Year honors. Join Jay Randolph and Hall of Famer Earl Anthony for the PBA Fall Tour next Saturday on NBC.
Joining Wild again, Proud Truth, Skywalker, and Ferdinand as classic winners of the Breeder Cup, Ali Sheba.
3 pairs of goggles muddied. What sort of ride?
I'm glad it's over, bro. That's all I know. He gave me another fantastic ride. He's just a great horse, and guess who Horse of the Year is? Ali Sheba!
But down the backstretch, when you make your move, what does that feel like on him?
It's a tremendous feeling. The acceleration he gives you is just like nothing I've ever felt. The only thing close is John Henry, and this horse is just, he quickens like right away, immediately. When a horse comes to either side, or if I just tap him on the shoulder, he quickens immediately. And then it's hard for this horse to impress people because he doesn't want to win by too far. He's kind of like great communicator. If you're not pedaling, he's not running. And he just wins by as far as he has to.
Everyone will want to know, you sat on John Henry, great wins on John Henry, you sat and won on Ali Sheba. How do the two horses compare to sit on?
They're very close, but I really think this is a better horse. He's, excuse me, he's accomplished quite a bit more than John Henry did. John Henry, you know, won $6.5 million, but it took him about 7 years to do it. Now, granted, I know inflation has taken a large part in Ali Sheba's career. However, he's done it in a very short period of time with no bonus money, and it's just a great accomplishment. Thanks, bro.
And ladies and gentlemen, here is Alan Murray, the chairman and CEO, Mobil Corporation, to make the presentation of the Breeders' Cup trophy to Dorothy Scarborough and the great gang here who watched Ali Sheba win.
A great race, historic race, absolutely magnificent. My honor to present this to you. Maybe someone else like to hold it a little heavy. But congratulations, it was an absolutely magnificent race, a magnificent horse.
Thank you very much. This trophy is beautiful.
And so was this race.
We're run out of time, and we certainly have run out of light. And considering the conditions, what a call by Tom Durkin of that classic race. Our final thoughts when we return.
As the years go by and the world turns faster and we're all chasing changes, let it be. I won't mind, 'cause I know some things always stay the same, just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me.
Something as special as friendship deserves a special beer. That's why for over 100 years, friendships have been formed and kept over the quality beers of Anheuser-Busch.
Stand by me. Oh, stand.
Introducing a sedan with the heart of a lion, the all-new Toyota Cressida. Inside, the majestic body beats a powerful 24-valve, 190-horsepower engine. Plus, legendary Toyota quality. Quality that has made Cressida the most trouble-free new car sold 2 years in a row. Cressida for '89, the king of luxury performance sedans and the pride of Toyota.
Being neutral, the Swiss enjoy the best of all worlds. Cars from Italy. clothes from Paris, shoes from England, and from America, Old Spice Liquid Stick, a new antiperspirant. With the smoothness of a roll-on and the speed of a stick, it also combines the best of all worlds for total protection. After all, nothing's more important to the Swiss than good relations. Old Spice Liquid Stick, the world's most advanced form of protection.
The fifth running of the Breeders' Cup from Churchill Downs in Louisville has been brought to you by Budweiser Beechwood Age for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. By your Toyota dealer and the 1989 Corolla. Toyota quality. Who could ask for anything more? By U.S. Sprint, America's first and only nationwide 100% digital fiber optic phone company. And by DP, quality made in USA products that help get you fit for life.
I'm standing here with Jack Van Berg, who has finally made it in the Breeders' Cup. Jack, let's go back a few years, see how you started with us. Here's a few finishes.
Yeah, that was an awful tough finish there, Harvey. I thought that horse was the best horse that day, and they were bumping down the stretch, and he kind of knocked his rear out from under him.
And again,
this year, we were watching Chiefs Crown. When he went to the front of the head of the lane, we went with him and opened up too much, and Proud Truth beat us right on the money that year. That was
2 seconds. Now, last year, another.
Yes, that was another tough break, but I always figured this way, Harvey. The man up above didn't want me to win. I might have gotten lazy, so I got to keep working.
But you kept him. We had him as a 4-year-old. We thank you for him.
Well, I just have to thank the Scarboroughs, Dorothy and Pamela and Clarence, for giving me the opportunity to train this horse, and everybody that helps me.
Jack, we're glad you made it.
The people, everybody, the exercise riders and all my assistants, they just do a fabulous job.
Thank you, Jack.
Yeah, it is a moment for Jack Van Berg. Well, we're down the home stretch of another great Breeders' Cup day of racing, and down the home stretch we go again with Tom Durkin and Ali Sheba's win.
As the field comes to the top of the stretch, it is Cutlass Reality and Walk Point. Ali Sheba set down for the drive. Personal flag is moving through and opening toward the rail, seeking the goal on the outside. They're coming to the final furlong. Walk Point is tenacious. Ali Sheba is right there, and on the outside, seeking the gold. Ali Sheba with the short lead. He's unyielding, seeking the gold. A final move as they come to the wire. And Ali Sheba, America's horse, has done it. Ali Sheba returns to the site of his greatest victory, and he does it here again at Churchill Downs. Ali Sheba wins.
And here's the complete official order of finish in the $3 Million Classic. Ali Sheba seeking the gold in Walk White, 49er, got up to be 4th and will challenge Risen Star for champion 3-year-old honors. Crypto Clarence could only get 5th. Personal flag, Cutlass Reality, Lively One, and Slew City Slew.
Boy, what a day. How do you even recap all the things we've seen? Everything
Start
from...
with the weather.
That's right. Boy, football's going to be easy after this. In the teeth of this 30-mile-an-hour wind here on the infield, and the conditions to be admired are the jockeys themselves. I don't think we really give them credit enough in the well-spoken, articulate Chris McCarron. It almost, with his looks, what they call him the howdy-doody of racing, defies what a brilliant athlete he is.
Well, you pointed out earlier how they were all winded at the end of those races, and to be a jockey to control that horse moving so fast, so strong, that it really is a tribute to their athletic ability.
On the negative side, we should clear up business. Harvey Pack didn't win a cent.
No,
but
on
the positive side, who is the horse of the year?
Well, Personal Ensign will be my lasting memory of this day. Undefeated. Ali Sheba is very good, but Personal Ensign is my horse of the year.
And, of course, it all started, that Lucas Klein combination, too. But Personal Ensign retires, broken leg early in her career, comes back, and by a nose wins and finishes totally unbeaten. And here are the people that made it all possible from Churchill Downs in Louisville today. Thank you, men and women of NBC. Another grand sports classic. Again, the Breeders' Cup has allowed us to witness with interest and awe the greatest from the equine world, magnificent animals exhibiting those words, those qualities that endear us to the thoroughbred and racing: preparation, hope, solitude, beauty, intensity, strength, and oh, what a moment when they all do combine to create the richest of times, the ultimate result.
This has been a presentation of NBC Sports, the leader in innovative sports television.